Hello, friend. Come here. Sit down with me by this fire. I've been waiting for you. Yes, you. I know you're tired. I can see it in the way you're carrying yourself tonight. That heaviness in your chest. That ache that makes even breathing feel like work sometimes. Come closer to the warmth. The night air is cool off the ocean, but the fire is good. It's strong. Let it warm you. I saw you walking along the beach earlier, didn't I? Even before you saw this fire. I saw you. The way you were, moving like you were the only person left in the world. I know that feeling. That deep, aching loneliness that makes you feel like you're invisible. Like you could disappear and no one would notice. Like you're walking through life and everyone else is together, connected, and somehow you're just separate, outside, alone. Take off your shoes if you want. Feel the sand. It's still warm from the day's sun, even though the sun went down hours ago. Isn't that something? The sand remembers the warmth, even in the darkness. Hold on to that thought. We'll come back to it. Do you hear the waves? Listen for a moment. Just listen. That sound, it never stops, does it? Even when everything else in your life feels uncertain, chaotic, falling apart. These waves keep coming, one after another, faithful, constant, reliable. They were here yesterday, they'll be here tomorrow. They've been coming to this shore for thousands of years, and they'll keep coming long after we're gone. I want you to remember that sound, the rhythm of it. Because there's something I need you to understand tonight, something we're going to talk about as we sit here together. But first, just let yourself be here. You don't have to perform. You don't have to pretend you're okay. You don't have to fix your face into a smile or convince me that you're doing better than you are. I already know. I know exactly how alone you've been feeling. How long has it been since someone really saw you? Not just looked at you, but really saw you? Since someone asked how you were and actually waited for a real answer? Since you felt like you mattered to someone, like your presence or absence would make a difference in anyone's day? I see you. Right now. Not the version of you that you show everyone else. I see the real you. The one who cries in the car. The one who feels hollow inside even in a crowded room. The one who wonders if anyone would really miss you if you just disappeared. I see that person. And I'm here. I came to this beach tonight for you. Look at the fire for a moment. Watch the flames. See how they move? Dancing, reaching, never still. They're beautiful, aren't they? But you know what else they are? They're hungry. Fire is always hungry. It needs fuel. It needs oxygen. It needs attention. And you know what happens when a fire doesn't get what it needs. It dies. It goes out. And then there's just darkness and cold ashes. You've felt like that fire sometimes, haven't you? Like you're burning through your fuel, your energy, your hope, and there's no one adding wood to keep you going. Like you're slowly dying out and no one notices. Like everyone just assumes you'll keep burning forever, so they don't check on you. They don't tend to you. They don't see that you're down to embers. But I see it. I see you. And I'm here to sit with you, to tend this fire with you, to make sure you're not alone tonight. The waves are still coming. Do you hear them? Closer now as the tide comes in. Steady, persistent. One wave and then another and then another. They don't stop. They don't forget. They don't abandon their rhythm. Even if you stopped listening, even if you walked away from this beach and never came back, these waves would still be coming, still keeping their ancient appointment with this shore. That's what I want to talk to you about tonight. Because loneliness is a liar. It's a feeling, and feelings can lie to us. Loneliness whispers that you're forgotten, that you're invisible, that no one sees you or cares about you or thinks about you, that you're completely and utterly alone in this world. And when you feel it deeply enough, long enough, you start to believe it's true. You start to accept it as fact. But I need you to hear this, and I need you to really let it sink in. Loneliness is a feeling. It's not a fact. The fact is that you are not alone. You have never been alone. Not for a single moment of your life. Not even now. especially not now, sitting here, by this fire with me. You might be thinking, but I can't see you. I can't feel you most of the time. How is that not being alone? And I understand that. I really do. It's hard to believe in a presence you can't touch with your hands or see with your eyes. But that's where the waves come in. Listen again. Really listen. Those waves. Can you see them in the darkness? Probably not very well. The moon isn't full tonight. The stars give some light, but not much. You can't see much of the ocean from here. But you can hear it, can't you? You can hear every wave that rolls in. You can hear the water rushing up the sand and then pulling back. You can hear it, even though you can't see it. My presence is like that. Even when you can't see me, even when you can't feel me in the way you wish you could, I'm still here. Still coming to you. Still faithful. Still constant. Like these waves. I don't stop being present just because you can't sense me in the moment. Your ability to perceive me doesn't determine my reality. I am here whether you feel me or not. I know that's hard to hold on to when the loneliness is crushing. When it's 3 a.m. and you're staring at the ceiling and everyone else is asleep, and the silence is so heavy you can barely breathe. When you're in a crowd of people and you feel more alone than you do when you're actually by yourself. When someone you trusted walked away and you felt the door close on that relationship and you realized you're going to have to walk forward without them. Those moments are real. The pain is real. I'm not dismissing it. I'm not telling you to just cheer up or think positive or count your blessings. That's not what this is. I'm sitting here with you in the pain. I'm acknowledging it. I see how much it hurts to feel this alone. But I also need you to know the truth. And the truth is that I am with you. I was with you at 3 a.m. I was with you in that crowd. I was with you when that door closed. I have never left you. I will never leave you. It's not in my nature to abandon people. It's literally impossible for me to forsake you. Do you know what that word means? Forsake? It means to abandon someone in their time of need. To leave them when they need you most. To turn your back and walk away when things get hard. And I'm telling you, on this beach tonight, by this fire, with these waves as my witnesses, I will never, ever do that to you. The Hebrew word for what I'm talking about is azab. It means to leave, to forsake, to abandon completely. And in the ancient text in Deuteronomy, Moses records my promise. I will never azab you. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. That's not a casual promise. That's a covenant. That's me binding myself to you in a way that cannot be broken. But you're still feeling alone right now, aren't you? Even as you sit here, even as you're hearing this, there's a part of you that's thinking, if he's really here, why do I feel this way? Why does the loneliness hurt so much if he's supposedly with me? Those are fair questions, honest questions, and I'm not afraid of your questions. Ask them. Sit here with me and ask me anything. I won't be offended. I won't be shocked. I won't turn away from you because you're struggling to believe, struggling to feel, struggling to understand. Let me tell you something about feelings. They're real, but they're not always reliable. You can feel like a failure even when you're succeeding. You can feel unloved even when you're surrounded by people who care about you. You can feel like you're in danger even when you're completely safe. Feelings are responses to our circumstances, to our thoughts, to our past experiences, to the chemistry in our brains. They're valid, they matter, but they don't always tell us the truth about reality. Right now, your loneliness is screaming at you. It's telling you that you're alone, that no one cares, that you don't matter, that you've been forgotten. And that feeling is so strong, so overwhelming, that it's drowning out everything else. It's drowning out the quiet, steady truth that I am here, that I see you, that I know you, that I love you. The waves are still coming. They haven't stopped. They won't stop. Listen to them. Let them be a physical reminder of something spiritual. Let them teach you something about faith. You can't see every wave before it arrives. Sometimes you can't see any of them in the darkness. But you can hear them. You know they're coming. You trust that they'll keep coming because they always have. That's what I'm asking you to do with my presence. Trust it even when you can't feel it. Believe it even when you can't see it. Know that I'm coming to you, constantly, faithfully, like these waves, whether you can perceive me in the moment or not. I know you've been hurt. I know there are reasons you feel this alone. People have left you, haven't they? People you thought would stay. People you trusted. People you loved. And when they left, they took pieces of you with them. They left holes in your life, empty spaces where they used to be. And those holes ache. They throb with absence, with loss, with abandonment. Maybe it was a friend who ghosted you, just stopped responding, stopped reaching out, and you never really knew why. You replay your last conversations, looking for what you did wrong, but you can't find it. They just disappeared from your life. Maybe it was a family member who should have been there, but wasn't. A parent who was physically present, but emotionally absent. A sibling who chose sides and it wasn't yours. A relative who walked away when things got complicated. Maybe it was a romantic relationship that ended. Someone you planned a future with. Someone you thought you'd grow old with. And now they're gone, and you're here, and the future you imagined is just gone, erased, and you have to build a new future by yourself, and you don't even know how to start. Maybe it's not one specific person. Maybe it's just a general sense that everyone else has people, and you don't. Everyone else has their person, their group, their tribe, and you're just floating, untethered, unconnected, looking in from the outside at a world where everyone else belongs somewhere. I see all of that. I see every rejection, every abandonment, every moment you've been left behind. I see the scars they left on your heart. I see how hard it is for you to trust now. How hard it is to believe that anyone would actually stay. How you keep people at arm's length because it hurts less to be alone by choice than to be abandoned again. But here's what I need you to understand. I am not like the people who left you. I am not human in the way they are. I don't get tired of you. I don't get bored with you. I don't find someone more interesting and move on. I don't change my mind about you. I don't decide you're too much work, or too broken, or too needy. You cannot exhaust my patience. You cannot use up my grace. You cannot wear out your welcome with me. It's not possible, because I'm not a human friend who has limits. I'm God. I'm infinite. My capacity to love you, to be present with you, to care about you, is limitless. It doesn't run out. It doesn't diminish. It doesn't fade. The fire is crackling. Do you hear it? Little pops and snaps as the wood burns. It's a good sound, a comforting sound. It means the fire is alive, active, warm. This fire won't last forever. Eventually we'll run out of wood and it will burn down to coals and then to ash. But while it burns, it's here. It's real. It's doing its job. My love isn't like that. It doesn't burn out. It doesn't depend on fuel. It doesn't need to be fed or maintained or protected. It just is. It's eternal. It's constant. It's unchanging. Before this beach existed, before these waves started rolling, before there was sand or fire or stars, I loved you. And I will love you long after this beach is gone, after the ocean dries up, after the stars burn out. That's hard to comprehend, isn't it? That kind of love, that kind of commitment. Because every love you've known has been conditional, has had limits, has been based on what you could offer, how you performed, whether you met expectations. Even the best human love has boundaries, has breaking points, but not mine. Mine is different. Mine is whole. Mine is complete. Mine is perfect. And it's yours. Not because you earned it. Not because you deserve it. Not because you're doing everything right, but because I choose to give it to you. Because I want to. Because loving you gives me joy. Look up at the stars for a moment. Tilt your head back and look at them. Aren't they beautiful? Each one is a sun, you know. Each one is massive, burning, brilliant. And there are billions of them. Billions. More than you could ever count. More than you could even imagine. I know each one. I know where they are. I know how bright they burn. I know when they're born and when they'll die. I hold them in their courses. I keep them from colliding, from careening off into chaos. I maintain the order of the entire universe. And yet, with all of that cosmic responsibility, with all those billions of stars to tend to, I still know you. I still see you. I still care about your loneliness, your pain, your struggle. You are not too small for me to notice. You are not insignificant. You are not lost in the crowd. I know your name. I know your story. I know what happened today that made the loneliness worse. I know what memory you can't stop replaying. I know what you're afraid of. I know what you're hoping for. I know the secret dreams you haven't told anyone. I know the shame you're carrying. I know the questions you're afraid to ask. And I'm still here. Still sitting by this fire with you. Still choosing to be present with you. Still loving you. The waves keep rolling in. Steady. Faithful. One after another. They don't skip turns. They don't take breaks. They don't abandon their rhythm. And neither do I. I know it feels like I'm absent sometimes. I know there are moments when you pray, and it feels like your words just bounce off the ceiling. When you cry out and hear nothing back. When you beg for a sign, for some evidence that I'm listening, and you get silence. I know how painful that is, how frustrating, how lonely. But silence isn't absence. Sometimes I'm most present in the quiet. Sometimes the answer you need isn't words, but simply my presence. Sometimes what you need most is not explanation, but companionship. Not answers, but comfort. Not solutions, but someone to sit with you in the dark. That's what I'm doing right now. Sitting with you, being with you, sharing this moment with you. You're not alone by this fire. You're not alone on this beach. You're not alone in your life. You never have been. You never will be. I want you to do something for me. Well, not for me, for yourself. I want you to take a deep breath, a real one. Fill your lungs all the way. Hold it for a moment, and then let it out slowly. Let all that tension go with it. That tightness in your chest, that knot in your stomach, that pressure behind your eyes. Just breathe it out. Good. Do it again. Breathe in the salt air. Smell the ocean. Feel the warmth of the fire on your face. Feel the cool sand under your feet. Feel the reality of this moment. You are here. You are alive. You are breathing. And you are not alone. I know tomorrow might be hard. I know there are difficult things waiting for you when the sun comes up. Conversations you're dreading. Decisions you have to make. Situations you have to face. Empty rooms you have to walk into. Silence you have to sit in. I know. But right now, in this moment, you can rest. You can let your guard down. You can stop performing. You can stop pretending. You can just be. Be tired. Be sad. Be lonely. Be confused. Be angry. Be whatever you are right now. And that's okay. I can handle all of it. None of it scares me away. The waves are coming in closer now. The tide is rising. Soon the water will be close enough to reflect the firelight. Soon you'll be able to see the foam catching the light as each wave breaks. Soon the rhythm of the water will be close enough to feel, not just hear. That's how I want to be for you. Not just a distant presence you hope is out there somewhere, but close, real, tangible. something you can sense, even if you can't touch, something you can trust, even if you can't see. I'm going to stay here with you all night. I'm not going anywhere. While you sit here, while you rest, while you let yourself feel everything you've been holding back, I'll be here, tending this fire, watching these waves, watching over you. You are not alone tonight. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are seen. You are known. You are loved. And that's not going to change. Not tonight. Not tomorrow. Not ever. The loneliness you feel is real. I acknowledge it. I don't dismiss it. But it's not the whole truth. The whole truth is that you are mine, and I am with you, and nothing can separate you from my love. Not loneliness, not pain, not fear, not past mistakes, not future failures. Nothing. So sit here with me a while longer. Listen to the waves, watch the fire, feel the sand, breathe the air, and know deep in your soul that you are not alone. You have never been alone, and you never will be. I'm here. I've always been here, and I'm not going anywhere. You know what I love about beaches? About sitting by the ocean like this? It's the way everything feels both vast and intimate at the same time. Look out there at the darkness where the ocean meets the sky. You can't even see where one ends and the other begins. It's infinite, boundless. It goes on forever in every direction. And yet, here we are, in this small circle of firelight, in this tiny warm space carved out of all that vastness. Both things are true at once. The infinite and the intimate, the cosmic and the personal. That's what I am to you. I'm the God who holds galaxies in place, who knows every star by name, who set the boundaries for the oceans and told them, this far you may come and no farther. But I'm also the God who's sitting here with you right now, who knows the specific ache in your heart, who sees the particular loneliness you're carrying tonight. I'm both. I don't have to choose between being infinite and being intimate. I can be both at the same time. Sometimes people think that because I'm God, because I'm so big and cosmic and powerful, I can't possibly care about their small personal struggles. They think their loneliness is too trivial for me to notice. Their pain is too insignificant compared to all the suffering in the world. Their little life is just one of billions, so how could I possibly have time for them? But that's not how I work. I'm not limited the way humans are limited. I don't have to divide my attention. I don't have to choose between caring about one person or another. I can be fully present with you right now, while also being fully present with every other person who's crying out to me tonight. Your pain doesn't have to compete with anyone else's pain for my attention. I have infinite capacity for all of it. Think about the sand here on this beach. Pick up a handful if you want. Feel it run through your fingers. Each grain is so small, insignificant on its own. There are billions of grains of sand on this beach alone, trillions across all the beaches in the world. Each one is tiny. Each one seems unimportant, but every single grain of sand has a story. Each one started as part of a rock somewhere. It was broken down over thousands of years by wind and water and time. It traveled here to this beach. It settled into this exact spot, and it will be here, shaped by these waves, polished by this ocean, until someday it becomes something else entirely. You are not less important to me than the grand cosmic story. Just because you're one person among billions, every single person matters. Every single life is significant. Every single heart that's breaking tonight has my full attention, including yours. Especially yours, because you're the one I'm with right now. The fire is burning lower now, not going out, just settling into itself. The flames aren't as high, but the coals are glowing hotter. Sometimes that's how my presence works too. Sometimes the flashy, dramatic moments of faith aren't when the real warmth happens. Sometimes it's in the quiet, steady glow, in the consistent heat that doesn't need flames to prove it's real. You've been looking for the flames, haven't you? The big moments, the obvious signs, the unmistakable presence, some dramatic evidence that I'm here, that I care, that I haven't forgotten about you. And when you don't get those flames, you think the fire must be going out. You think I must be pulling away. But look at these coals. They're not showy. They're not dramatic. But they're real. They're warm. They're constant. And they'll keep you warm through the night much more reliably than high flames that burn bright and fast and then fade. That's what I want to give you. Not constant emotional highs, not perpetual miraculous interventions, but steady, reliable, constant presence. The kind of warmth you can depend on. The kind of companionship that doesn't waver based on your circumstances or your feelings or your performance. I know you've been praying for things to change, for the loneliness to go away, for people to come into your life, for relationships to be restored, for things to feel better. And I hear those prayers. I really do. Every single one of them matters to me. But sometimes what you need even more than changed circumstances is the assurance that you're not facing those circumstances alone. Sometimes the miracle isn't the removal of the difficulty, but the presence of someone who walks through it with you, someone who sits with you in it, someone who doesn't fix it or explain it or make it disappear, but who simply stays. That's what I'm offering you tonight. Not a quick fix, not an instant solution to your loneliness, but my presence in it, my companionship through it, my promise that you don't have to carry it alone. Listen to the waves again. They're closer now. Can you hear how each one is different? Some are bigger, some smaller. Some crash with force, others just whisper up the sand. But they all come. None of them skip their turn. None of them decide it's too much work and give up. They just keep coming, faithful to their nature, true to their purpose. That's me with you. Some days my presence might feel overwhelming, powerful, undeniable. Other days it might feel like the smallest whisper, the lightest touch. But I'm always coming to you, always faithful to my nature, which is love. Always true to my purpose, which includes being with you. The stars are so bright tonight. Have you noticed? Out here, away from city lights, you can see so many more of them. Thousands upon thousands. Some people find that overwhelming. They look up at all those stars and feel small, insignificant, lost in the vastness of it all. But I want you to see it differently. Every single one of those stars exists because I spoke it into being. Every single one is exactly where I placed it. And I did that with words, with thought, with intention. Nothing accidental about any of it. And you weren't an accident either. You weren't a cosmic mistake. You weren't randomly thrown into existence and left to fend for yourself. I thought about you. I planned you. I knew exactly who you would be, what you would face, what you would need. And I created you anyway, with love, with purpose, with intention. The loneliness you're feeling right now isn't punishment. It's not evidence that you've done something wrong, or that you're unlovable, or that there's something fundamentally broken about you. Sometimes loneliness is just part of the human experience, part of what happens when you live in a broken world full of broken people who hurt each other, even when they don't mean to. But here's what I want you to hold on to. Your loneliness has not escaped my notice. Your pain is not invisible to me. Your struggle is not something you have to hide or minimize or apologize for. I see it all. I know it all. And I'm not disappointed in you for feeling it. You don't have to be strong right now. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to convince me or yourself that you're doing fine. It's okay to be not okay. It's okay to be lonely and sad and tired and confused. It's okay to be exactly where you are, feeling exactly what you're feeling. This fire will keep burning for a while yet. The waves will keep coming all night long, and I'll be right here, in this space, holding it with you, holding you, not because you've earned it or because you deserve it, but because I love you, simply, completely, unconditionally. That's the truth that's more real than your loneliness, more lasting than your pain, more certain than your fear. I love you, I see you, I'm with you, and that's never going to change. So rest here a while. Let the warmth of this fire soak into your bones. Let the rhythm of these waves calm your racing heart. Let the vastness of this sky remind you that the God who made all of this knows your name and calls you beloved. You are not alone. Not tonight. Not ever. I'm here and I'm staying. That's my promise to you, and I always keep my promises. The fire is settling into a good rhythm now, those deep red coals glowing steady and warm. The waves are still coming, faithful as ever, and I want to tell you something I don't think people talk about enough. Something about me that might surprise you. I know what it's like to feel alone, really deeply alone, not theoretically, not in some distant theological way. I know it in my bones, in my gut, in that place, deep in your chest, where loneliness lives and aches and sometimes feels like it might crush you from the inside out. I've been there. I've felt that. You might think that's impossible. How could God feel alone? How could the second person of the Trinity, eternally connected to the Father and the Spirit, ever experience loneliness? But you have to remember, I became human, fully human. I didn't just put on humanity like a costume. I didn't play act at being human while remaining untouched by human experience. I entered into it completely. I felt everything you feel. Hunger, thirst, exhaustion, joy, anger, grief, and yes, loneliness. Let me tell you about a night, the worst night of my human life, the night before I died, the night in a garden called Gethsemane. You might have heard the story before, but I want to tell it to you the way it felt, from the inside, because I think you need to know that I understand your loneliness not as an observer, but as someone who's lived it. We had just finished the Passover meal, me and my 12 closest friends, my disciples, the men I'd spent 3 years with, teaching them, living with them, sharing everything with them. We'd eaten together, laughed together, walked dusty roads together. They knew me better than anyone else in the world knew me. Or at least, I thought they did. After dinner, we walked to this olive grove on the Mount of Olives, a place I often went to pray. It was quiet there, peaceful, the kind of place where you could hear yourself think, hear God speak. But that night, it felt different, heavy, like the air itself was pressing down on us. I knew what was coming. I knew that in a matter of hours, I would be arrested, tortured, crucified. I knew every detail of what I was about to face, and I was afraid. Not just afraid, I was terrified. My whole body was filled with dread so intense it was physical. My heart was pounding. My hands were shaking. Sweat was breaking out all over my skin, cold and clammy despite the warm night air. I asked Peter, James, and John to come with me deeper into the garden. These were my inner circle, the ones I was closest to. Peter, who I'd nicknamed the Rock, James and John, the Sons of Thunder. Strong men, loyal men, men I trusted. I told them, my soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me. That's what I said. Keep watch with me. Not keep watch for danger or stand guard. Keep watch with me. I was asking them to be present with me, to stay awake with me, to keep me company in what I knew was going to be the hardest night of my life. And then I went a little farther, just a stone's throw away, and I fell on my face, literally, face down in the dirt. And I prayed. I cried out to my Father. I said, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. If there's any other way, please, take this away from me. Do you know what that cup was? It wasn't just the physical torture of crucifixion, though that was horrific enough. It wasn't just the nails and the thorns and the suffocation. It was the weight of all human sin. Every evil act, every cruel word, every betrayal, every murder, every abuse, every darkness. All of it, from the beginning of time to the end of time, was about to be placed on me. And not only that, but I would be separated from my Father for the first time in all of eternity. I would experience the full weight of divine judgment, the full force of holy wrath against sin. I would become sin itself so that you could become righteous. I knew all of that was coming, and I was crushed under the weight of it. I was in agony. The Bible says, "My sweat became like drops of blood falling to the ground." That's a real medical condition called hematidrosis. It happens when someone is under such extreme stress that their capillaries burst and blood mixes with sweat. That's how afraid I was. That's how much anguish I was in. And in that moment, in that crushing, overwhelming fear and sorrow, I needed my friends. I needed them to be there, to stay awake, to pray with me, to sit with me in the darkness. I wasn't asking them to fix it. I wasn't asking them to take it away. I was just asking them to be present, to not leave me alone in it. After pouring out my heart to the Father, after wrestling in prayer until I could barely breathe, I went back to check on them, and they were sleeping. All three of them, sound asleep. I woke Peter up and said, "Couldn't you men keep watch with me for even 1 hour?" I went back to pray again, fell on my face again, cried out again. The anguish was getting worse, not better. The reality of what was coming was pressing down harder with every passing minute. And I went back to my friends a second time, asleep again. They couldn't even keep their eyes open. A third time I prayed. A third time I returned to find them sleeping. And by then, I could hear the crowd coming, Judas leading them, torches and weapons. The moment had arrived. The thing I'd been dreading was here. And my friends, the ones I'd asked to stay awake with me, to keep me company in my darkest hour, had slept through it all. Do you know what that felt like? It felt like being completely, utterly alone. It felt like the people who were supposed to understand, who were supposed to care, couldn't even stay awake for me. Couldn't fight off their own drowsiness for one night, the most important night, the night I needed them most. I'm not telling you this to make you feel sorry for me. I'm telling you this because I want you to know that I understand how it feels when the people you need most let you down. When they're physically there, but not really present. When they can't seem to grasp how much you're hurting or how desperately you need them to just be there, to just pay attention, to just care enough to stay awake. You've felt that, haven't you? You've been in situations where you needed someone, and they weren't there for you. Maybe not because they were literally asleep, but because they were checked out, distracted, too caught up in their own stuff to notice your pain, too busy to sit with you, too uncomfortable with your struggle to stay present in it. Maybe you tried to tell someone how much you were hurting and they minimized it. They said, "It's not that bad," or "Just think positive," or "Others have it worse." Maybe they changed the subject because your pain made them uncomfortable. Maybe they promised to be there and then weren't. Maybe they just disappeared when things got hard. That loneliness, that feeling of being unseen, unheard, not important enough for people to show up for you. I know exactly how that feels. I lived it in the most crucial moment of my human existence. But here's what I want you to see. Even in that moment, even when my closest friends failed me, even when I felt more alone than I'd ever felt before or would ever feel again, I wasn't actually alone. My Father was there, even in my anguish, even in my fear, even in my humanity, crying out for another way. The Father was present. He sent an angel to strengthen me. He heard every word I prayed. He stayed with me through it all. The disciples slept. Judas betrayed me. The crowds would mock me. The religious leaders would condemn me. The Roman soldiers would torture me. Even my Father would have to turn his face away when I became sin on that cross. But through all of it, I was never truly abandoned. Not in the deepest sense. The Father's love never left me. His purpose never changed. His presence never wavered, even when I couldn't feel it in the way I wanted to. And that's what I'm trying to help you see tonight, here by this fire, with these waves rolling in one after another. Your feelings of loneliness are real. The pain of people letting you down is real. The disappointment when others don't show up for you the way you need them to is absolutely valid. I'm not dismissing any of that. I felt it, all myself. But underneath those very real feelings, underneath the very real failures of the people around you, there's a deeper reality. You are not alone, not in the ultimate sense, not in the way that matters most. I am with you. I have always been with you, and I will never leave you. The people in your life will fail you sometimes. They're human, they're limited. They have their own pain, their own struggles, their own capacity issues. Even the best people, the ones who love you most, will and let you down sometimes. Not because they don't care, but because they're finite. They get tired. They get overwhelmed. They fall asleep when you need them to stay awake. But I don't. I never sleep. I never get tired of you. I never reach my limit with you. I never look at your pain and think, this is too much. I can't handle this. I need a break from you. That's not possible for me. My capacity for you is infinite. My attention never wavers. My care never diminishes. Listen to the waves. They're still coming. It's been hours now since we sat down here, and they haven't stopped once. They haven't taken a break. They haven't decided they're too tired to keep going. They just keep coming, faithful to their nature, true to their purpose. That's me with you. That's how constant my presence is. In the garden, after the disciples failed to stay awake, after Judas betrayed me with a kiss, after the soldiers arrested me and my friends all ran away, I still had to walk the path ahead. I still had to face the trial, the mockery, the scourging, the cross. And I did it knowing that I was walking it for you, so that you would never, ever have to face your darkest moment truly alone. When I hung on that cross, when I cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me? I was experiencing the full weight of separation from the Father. I was entering into the ultimate loneliness, the cosmic abandonment that sin deserves. I went there so you wouldn't have to. I experienced that complete, total, absolute aloneness, so that you could have the promise of my constant presence. Do you see what I'm saying? Your loneliness, as real and painful as it is not the same as the loneliness I experienced on the cross. You're not separated from the Father. You're not bearing the weight of all sin. You're not abandoned by God. You might feel alone, but you're not forsaken. And the reason you're not forsaken is because I was forsaken in your place. I took the loneliness. I took the abandonment. I took the separation. And in exchange, I gave you the promise of my presence. Always. Forever. No matter what. That's the gospel. That's the good news. Not that you'll never feel lonely, but that you're never truly alone. Not that people will never let you down, but that I never will. The fire is crackling softly now. The coals are glowing deep and steady. The warmth is real, even though the flames are lower. And that's how my presence works sometimes. You might not feel the high flames of emotional experience. You might not sense me in obvious, dramatic ways. But I'm here, steady, constant, real, keeping you warm in the darkness. After the garden, after the arrest, I was taken to the high priest's house. And while I was inside being questioned, Peter was outside in the courtyard. The same Peter who'd promised he'd never deny me. The same Peter who'd sworn he'd die with me if necessary. And when people recognized him as one of my followers, he denied knowing me. 3 times. Just like I'd predicted he would. And when the rooster crowed, when he realized what he'd done, he went out and wept bitterly. He was devastated, ashamed, broken by his own failure. And I want you to know something about that moment. Even though Peter had denied me, even though he'd failed at the exact moment I needed him most, I never stopped loving him. I never stopped seeing him as mine. I never gave up on him. After I rose from the dead, one of the first things I did was make sure Peter knew he was forgiven. I sought him out. I restored him. I gave him another chance. Because that's who I am. That's what I do. I don't abandon people when they fail. I don't write people off when they let me down. I stay. I pursue. I redeem. And if I did that for Peter, I'll do it for you. Whatever you've done, whatever you think disqualifies you from my presence, whatever shame you're carrying, whatever failure you're hiding, it doesn't change how I feel about you. It doesn't make me leave. It doesn't make you too broken for me to love. You might be lonely tonight partly because you're keeping people at a distance, because you're afraid if they really knew you, if they really saw all of you, they'd leave. They'd be disgusted. They'd reject you. So you show them a version of yourself that you think is acceptable, and you hide the rest. And then you feel lonely because no one really knows you, and the loneliness is your own protection mechanism. I get it. I understand why you do that. People have proven they can't be trusted with your whole self. They've judged you. They've used your vulnerability against you. They've walked away when things got real. So you've learned to protect yourself by only letting people see the safe parts. But I want you to hear this. You don't have to do that with me. You can't shock me. You can't tell me anything about yourself that I don't already know. I see all of you, the parts you show people and the parts you hide, and I'm still here. I'm still sitting by this fire with you. I'm still calling you mine. In the garden, I was fully myself. I didn't hide my fear from my disciples. I told them I was overwhelmed with sorrow. I let them see my anguish. I was vulnerable, and they fell asleep anyway. They couldn't handle it. But you know what? That didn't make me regret being honest. It didn't make me wish I'd pretended to be fine. Because authenticity, real honesty about what we're going through, is always better than pretending. Even if the people around us can't handle it, even if they let us down, it's better to be real than to be fake. It's better to be known and lonely than to be surrounded by people who only know the version of you that you've carefully constructed. I knew the disciples would fail me. I knew Peter would deny me. I knew Judas would betray me. I knew it all in advance, and I still chose to be vulnerable with them. I still chose to let them see my struggle. Because that's what real relationship requires. Risk, honesty, the possibility of being let down. And I'm asking you to risk that with me. To be honest with me. To stop performing, stop pretending, stop trying to show me only your best self. I want your real self, the scared self, the lonely self, the angry self, the confused self, the broken self, all of it, because that's the self I came to save. That's the self I died for. That's the self I love. The waves are getting louder now. The tide is still coming in. Each wave reaches a little higher up the beach than the last. And that's what I want to do in your life. Keep coming. Keep reaching. Keep moving closer. Not all at once. Not in one dramatic moment. But steadily. Faithfully. One wave at a time. You might not feel less lonely tomorrow. You might wake up and the ache is still there. The empty space in your life is still empty. The people you wish were there still aren't. And that's okay. I'm not promising you instant relief. I'm not promising you that all your loneliness will disappear the moment you acknowledge my presence. But I am promising you that you won't face it alone. That every moment of loneliness, every long night, every empty room, every silent phone, I'll be there in it with you. Not always taking it away, but always sharing it with you. Always bearing it with you. Always reminding you that you matter, you're seen, you're loved. In Gethsemane, I asked for the cup to be taken away. I prayed for another way. And the answer was no. The cup remained. I had to drink it. I had to go through it. But I wasn't alone in going through it. The Father was with me. His will was accomplished. His love never wavered. And on the other side of that terrible night, on the other side of the cross and the tomb, there was resurrection. There was victory. There was joy. Your loneliness might not be taken away right now. The cup you're drinking might be one you have to keep drinking for a while. But you're not drinking it alone. I'm here. And on the other side of this season, there's something more. There's purpose in the pain. There's meaning in the struggle. There's resurrection waiting beyond the tomb. So sit here with me a while longer. Let the fire warm you. Let the waves remind you of my faithfulness. Let the darkness be okay for now. You don't have to fix it tonight. You don't have to solve it. You just have to know that you're not facing it alone. I was alone in Gethsemane, so you would never have to be truly alone in your garden. I was forsaken on the cross, so you would never be forsaken in your life. I know loneliness. I've tasted it. I've lived it. And I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have the final word. Love does. Presence does. I do. Rest in that tonight. Let it be enough. Because it is enough. I am enough. And you are mine. And I am with you. And that's never going to change. You know what else happened that night in Gethsemane? Something the Gospels don't always emphasize, but I want you to know about. After the disciples fell asleep the third time, after I'd prayed until I had nothing left to say, after I'd surrendered to the Father's will and accepted what was coming, I had a choice to make. I could have been angry at them, at Peter, James, and John. They'd failed me so completely. I'd asked them for one thing, one simple thing, to stay awake with me for a few hours, and they couldn't do it. I would have been justified in feeling betrayed, abandoned, let down. I could have woken them up and told them what terrible friends they were. I could have sent them away. I could have decided to face what was coming without them, since they clearly weren't going to be any help anyway. But I didn't do that. When I woke them the final time, when the soldiers were already approaching with their torches, I didn't condemn them. I didn't shame them. I said, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the hour has come." And then I told them to get up, that we needed to go. No anger, no rejection, no punishment for their failure. Why? Because I understood. I understood that they were human, that their spirits were willing but their flesh was weak, that they were exhausted from the emotional weight of the evening, that they didn't fully grasp what was happening, that they loved me but couldn't stay awake because they were just human, limited, finite, doing the best they could with what they had. And I want you to bring that same understanding to the people in your life who've let you down. Not because what they did doesn't hurt. Not because their absence or failure or abandonment is okay, but because they're human too. They're limited. They have their own struggles, their own pain, their own weaknesses. And sometimes people fail us, not because they don't care, but because they don't have the capacity in that moment to be what we need. That doesn't make your loneliness less real. It doesn't mean you don't have a right to feel hurt, but it might help you carry it a little differently. Instead of adding bitterness and resentment to your loneliness, you can add understanding. You can acknowledge that people are imperfect, that relationships are complicated, that everyone is fighting battles you don't see. And more than that, you can stop expecting people to fill a space in your soul that only I can fill. Because here's the truth, the hard truth that might sting a little, but will ultimately set you free. No human being can be present with you the way I can. No person can understand you completely. No relationship can fill every empty space in your heart. No friend, no family member, no romantic partner, no matter how wonderful they are, can be everything you need. If you're waiting for a person to make your loneliness go away, you're going to be waiting forever. Even the best human relationships have limitations. Even the people who love you most will sometimes fall asleep when you need them awake. They'll sometimes be absent when you need them present. They'll sometimes misunderstand when you need to be understood. But I won't. I can't. It's not in my nature to fail you the way humans fail you. I don't have human limitations. I don't get tired. I don't get overwhelmed. I don't have competing priorities that pull my attention away from you. You are never too much for me. Your needs are never more than I can handle. Your pain is never something I can't sit with. Think about it this way. The ocean out there, these waves that keep rolling in, they don't get tired. They don't decide they've worked hard enough today and they're going to take a break. They don't look at the shore and think, I've been doing this for too long, I need some time away. They just keep coming. It's what they do. It's their nature. They can't not do it. That's how I am with you. Being present with you, loving you, caring about you. It's not work for me. It's not a burden I'm carrying. It's not something I have to force myself to do. It's my nature. It's who I am. I can't not love you. I can't not be present with you. It's as natural to me as waves coming to shore, as the sun rising in the morning, as stars shining at night. And when you really grasp that, when you really let that truth sink deep into your soul, it changes how you experience loneliness. You start to see that even in your loneliest moments, even when every human has failed you, or left you, or let you down, you're not actually alone. You're held. You're seen. You're loved. By someone who will never, ever leave. The fire is burning even lower now, but the warmth hasn't decreased. If anything, it's more concentrated, more focused. The coals are white hot in the center, radiating heat that goes deeper than the quick heat of flames. That's what happens when you let me be your source, instead of constantly looking to humans to fill that space. The warmth goes deeper. It becomes more sustaining. It doesn't depend on external circumstances or other people's behavior. I'm not saying you don't need people. You do. I made you for community, for connection, for relationship. You're supposed to have friends, family, people you can count on. I'm not asking you to become isolated or to pretend you don't need human companionship. That would be denying how I created you. But I am saying that people can't be your ultimate source. They can't be the thing you build your whole sense of security and worth and belonging on. Because they'll crack under that pressure. It's too much weight for them to carry. They'll fail you eventually, not because they're bad people, but because they're human people. And when they fail you, if your whole foundation is built on them, you'll collapse. But if your foundation is built on me, if your ultimate source of security and worth and belonging is rooted in my unchanging love for you, then when people fail you, it hurts, but it doesn't destroy you. When people leave, it's sad, but you're not abandoned. When people let you down, it's disappointing, but you're not alone. After Gethsemane, after the arrest, I was taken through a series of trials. Illegal trials, middle of the night, rushed and rigged. And at every step, I was surrounded by people. The courtyard was full of soldiers, servants, religious leaders, curious onlookers. Physically, I was never alone. But emotionally, spiritually, I was completely isolated. No one understood what was happening. No one stood up for me. No one spoke the truth on my behalf. I was surrounded by people and utterly alone at the same time. And that's the loneliness that cuts the deepest, isn't it? Not the loneliness of being physically by yourself, but the loneliness of being surrounded by people and still feeling unseen, unknown, misunderstood. You've felt that. You've been in rooms full of people and felt completely alone. You've been in relationships where you were technically with someone but felt miles apart. You've had conversations where you were talking but not being heard, present but not being seen. That's the loneliness that makes you question your own reality. That makes you wonder if there's something wrong with you, if you're somehow fundamentally unable to connect with people. But there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not defective. You're human, living in a world where true understanding, true connection, true being known is rare and precious and hard to find. Where people are distracted and self-focused and sometimes just unable to see past their own experience to really see yours. But I see you. In the crowd, in the isolation, in the physical aloneness and the surrounded but still lonely moments. I see you. I know you. I understand you in a way no human ever could because I made you. I know every thought before you think it, every feeling before you feel it, every need before you articulate it. And I'm not overwhelmed by that knowledge. I'm not burdened by it. I'm not wishing you were simpler or easier or less complicated. I delight in knowing you. I delight in being present with you. You are not too much for me. You could never be too much for me. The waves are still coming. Listen to them. That sound is a promise, a reminder, a constant testimony to my faithfulness. As long as oceans exist, as long as tides rise and fall, as long as waves roll to shore, I am with you. I am for you. I am holding you in existence, in being, in purpose. Your loneliness is real, but it's not the deepest reality. My presence is the deepest reality. My love is the foundation that doesn't shift. My commitment to you is the bedrock that holds steady when everything else is uncertain. So let yourself grieve the human failures. Let yourself feel the pain of the relationships that didn't work out, the friends who drifted away, the family who didn't show up the way you needed. That's real loss. That's real pain. Don't minimize it or spiritualize it away, but also let yourself rest in this truth. You are mine, and I am with you, and nothing can separate you from my love. Not height nor depth, not angels nor demons, not present nor future. Not any power in all creation can separate you from my love. And that includes your loneliness. It can't separate you from me. It can't make me leave. It can't change how I feel about you. I was lonely in Gethsemane, so I could understand your loneliness. I was abandoned on the cross, so you would never be truly abandoned. I descended into death, so you could have life. And I'm here now, by this fire, telling you that your loneliness is not the end of your story. It's not even the truest thing about your story. The truest thing is this: you are loved, you are seen, you are known, and you are mine, forever. The fire has settled into something beautiful now. Just glowing coals and occasional small flames dancing up when the breeze catches them just right. The warmth is deep and steady, the kind of warmth that soaks into your bones and stays there. And the waves, always the waves, keep coming, faithful, constant, reminding us that some things never stop, never quit, never give up. I want to tell you another story about a man who knew what it was like to feel forgotten, really deeply forgotten, not just for a day or a week, but for years. His name was Joseph, and his story is one I think you need to hear tonight. Joseph was his father's favorite son, loved, cherished, given special treatment. His father gave him a coat of many colors, this beautiful garment that set him apart from his brothers. But that favoritism, that special treatment, it created resentment. His brothers hated him for it. And when Joseph started having dreams that suggested he would one day rule over them, their hatred turned to murderous rage. One day, when Joseph was out in the fields with his brothers, far from home, far from their father's protection, they seized him. They threw him into a pit, a dry cistern in the ground, dark, deep, probably full of spiders and scorpions and the kind of darkness that makes you feel like you're being swallowed alive. And while he was down there, crying out, begging them not to do this, they sat down and ate their lunch. They literally ate their meal while their brother screamed for mercy from the bottom of a pit. Can you imagine that kind of betrayal? Your own family, the people who are supposed to protect you, care for you, have your back, and they're throwing you in a pit and eating lunch while you cry out to them. The loneliness of that moment, the abandonment, The realization that the people you thought loved you actually hate you enough to want you dead. Eventually, they pulled him out, but not to save him. They sold him. Sold their own brother to slave traders for 20 pieces of silver. And Joseph was taken to Egypt in chains, 17 years old, ripped away from everything he knew, everyone he loved, everyone who knew his name. Taken to a foreign country where he didn't speak the language, didn't know the customs, didn't have a single person who cared about him. He was sold to a man named Potiphar, an official in Pharaoh's court. And you know what? Joseph didn't give up. He didn't let the betrayal break him. He worked hard. He was faithful. He was so good at what he did that Potiphar put him in charge of his entire household. Joseph went from slave to trusted manager. Things were looking up. But then Potiphar's wife tried to seduce him. Day after day, she pursued him, pressured him, tried to get him to betray his master and violate his integrity. And Joseph refused. He ran away from her, literally fled from temptation. And for doing the right thing, for maintaining his integrity, for honoring God even when no one was watching, he was accused of the very thing he refused to do. Potiphar's wife lied about him, said he tried to assault her. And Potiphar, whether he believed it or not, had to save face. So Joseph was thrown in prison, an innocent man, punished for doing the right thing, betrayed by his brothers, falsely accused by his master's wife, locked in an Egyptian prison with no hope of release. And that's where the real loneliness began. Because at least in Potiphar's house, Joseph had responsibility, respect, some measure of dignity. But in prison, he was nobody, just another forgotten prisoner in a foreign land. No one knew his story. No one cared about his innocence. No one was coming to save him. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. Can you imagine? Waking up every single day in that prison cell, knowing you're innocent, knowing you did nothing wrong, but having absolutely no power to change your situation. No way to prove your innocence. No one to appeal to. No one who even remembers you exist. And in the middle of all that, while Joseph was in prison, he met two of Pharaoh's officials who'd been thrown in prison themselves, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. They both had troubling dreams one night, and Joseph, through the gift God had given him, interpreted their dreams. He told the cupbearer that in 3 days he would be restored to his position, and he told the baker that in 3 days he would be executed. Both interpretations came true, exactly as Joseph said. And before the cupbearer was released, Joseph asked him for one simple thing. He said, "When you get out of here, when you're restored to Pharaoh's service, please remember me. Mention me to Pharaoh. Tell him there's an innocent man in this prison who doesn't deserve to be here. I was stolen from my homeland. I've done nothing to deserve this. Please, just remember me." The cupbearer agreed. Of course he agreed. Joseph had just given him the good news that he would live, that he would be restored. It was the least he could do, right? Remember Joseph. Put in a good word. Help an innocent man. 3 days later, just as Joseph predicted, the cupbearer was restored to his position. He went back to Pharaoh's palace, back to his comfortable life, back to his important job serving the king of Egypt. And he forgot. He completely forgot about Joseph. The Bible says it plainly. The chief cupbearer, however, did not remember Joseph. He forgot him. Can you feel the weight of that? Joseph had given this man hope, had interpreted his dream, had told him he would live, had asked for one thing in return, just to be remembered, just to be mentioned. And the man forgot him, just went back to his life and forgot all about the Hebrew prisoner who'd helped him. 2 more years. That's how long Joseph waited after the cupbearer was released. 2 more years of waking up in that cell. 2 more years of being forgotten. 2 more years of wondering if anyone, anywhere, remembered his name. 2 more years of feeling completely, utterly abandoned. You know what that feels like, don't you? Maybe not in a literal prison, but in the prison of your circumstances, in the prison of your loneliness. You've helped people. You've been there for others. You've shown up, given your time, offered your support. And then when you needed something, when you needed someone to remember you, to show up for you, to mention your name, they forgot. They just moved on with their lives and forgot all about you. Or maybe no one forgot you, because no one ever knew you were there in the first place. You've been invisible for so long that there's no one to forget you, no one to remember you. You're just going through life unnoticed, unremarked, upon, unseen. Like Joseph in that prison cell, just another forgotten person in a world that has more important things to pay attention to. But here's what I need you to understand. Here's the truth that runs underneath Joseph's entire story. He was forgotten by the cupbearer, but he was never forgotten by me. Not for a single moment, not for a single day of those years in prison. I saw him. I knew exactly where he was. I knew his innocence. I knew his pain. I knew his loneliness. And I was with him every single day. The waves are still coming. Do you hear them? Still faithful. Still constant. That's what my presence was like for Joseph. He couldn't always feel it. He couldn't always see evidence of it. There were probably days when he wondered if I'd forgotten him too. Days when he questioned if I was even there, if I even cared. But I was there, every single day, every single moment, working in ways he couldn't see, preparing things he couldn't imagine, moving pieces into place for a purpose he couldn't yet understand. Because here's what happened after those 2 years. Pharaoh had a dream. 2 dreams, actually, that troubled him so much he couldn't sleep. He called for all the magicians and wise men in Egypt to interpret his dreams, and none of them could do it. And that's when the cupbearer finally remembered. "Oh wait," he said, "I just remembered. There's this Hebrew prisoner who can interpret dreams. He interpreted mine 2 years ago and it came true exactly as he said." So after 2 years of being forgotten by the cupbearer, Joseph was suddenly remembered. He was pulled out of prison, cleaned up, brought before Pharaoh, and he interpreted Pharaoh's dreams. He told him that 7 years of abundance were coming, followed by 7 years of famine, and he gave Pharaoh a plan for how to prepare, how to save grain during the good years so Egypt would survive the bad years. Pharaoh was so impressed that he put Joseph in charge of the entire operation. In 1 day, Joseph went from forgotten prisoner to second in command of all of Egypt, from the prison cell to the palace, from isolation to influence, from forgotten to found, and not just found, but elevated to a position where he would eventually save not only Egypt, but his own family from starvation. The very brothers who betrayed him, who threw him in a pit, who sold him into slavery, they came to Egypt years later begging for food during the famine. And they bowed down before Joseph, just like his dreams had shown them they would. And Joseph, from his position of power, could have taken revenge, could have thrown them in prison, could have let them starve, could have reminded them of every cruel thing they'd done to him. But instead, he forgave them. He wept over them. He told them, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." He saw the bigger picture. He understood that even in his darkest moments, even in his loneliest years, even when he felt completely forgotten, I was working. I was present. I was preparing him for a purpose bigger than he could have imagined. And that's what I want you to see in your loneliness. I'm not saying your loneliness is good. I'm not saying the betrayals you've experienced were okay. I'm not saying the people who forgot you were right to forget you. But I am saying that even in this, even in your darkest, loneliest moments, you are not forgotten by me. You are not abandoned. You are not invisible. I see you in your prison. Whatever prison you're in, the prison of grief, the prison of chronic illness, the prison of financial struggle, the prison of a difficult marriage, the prison of a job you hate but can't leave, the prison of mental illness, the prison of addiction, the prison of just feeling stuck, forgotten, left behind while everyone else moves forward with their lives. I see you there. I know you're innocent of so many of the things you're suffering for. I know you've done the right thing and been punished for it. I know you've been faithful and it hasn't paid off. I know you've been patient and things haven't changed. I know you're tired. I know you're lonely. I know you wonder if I've forgotten you too, but I haven't. I couldn't. It's literally impossible for me to forget you. Do you know what I said through the prophet Isaiah? Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has born? Though she may, forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Engraved, not written, not noted, not logged in some celestial database. Engraved, carved into my hands, permanent, indelible. You are literally written on my hands. Every time I look at my hands, I see you. I see your name. I see your face. I see your story. I cannot forget you because you are part of me now. And those hands with your name engraved on them, they're the same hands that were pierced for you. The same hands that were nailed to a cross. The same hands that bear the scars of my love for you. Every time I see those scars, I see you. You are marked on my body forever. The cupbearer forgot Joseph. People will forget you. They'll promise to remember and then move on with their lives. They'll say they'll call and then they won't. They'll say they'll be there and then they'll disappear. People are forgetful. People are busy. People are human and limited and sometimes just unable to follow through. But I am not people. I don't forget. I don't get too busy. I don't lose track of you in the shuffle of my cosmic responsibilities. You are constantly on my mind, constantly in my sight, constantly on my heart. Look at the fire again. Those coals are still glowing. They haven't gone out even though we've been sitting here for hours now. They just keep burning, steady and faithful. That's my love for you. That's my attention on you. It doesn't burn out. It doesn't fade. It doesn't diminish with time. Joseph waited years to see the purpose in his suffering, years to understand why he had to go through all of that. And even then, I don't think he understood it all. I don't think he could see every thread of the tapestry I was weaving. But he learned to trust that I was weaving something, even when all he could see was the tangled mess on the underside. You might be looking at the underside right now. The tangled threads, the knots, the parts that don't make sense, the colors that seem wrong, the pattern that seems chaotic and random and meaningless. And you're wondering what I'm doing. You're wondering if there's any purpose in this loneliness, any reason for this waiting, any point to this pain. I can't always show you the top side of the tapestry while you're still in the middle of it. Sometimes you have to wait to see what I'm making. But I can tell you this. I am making something. This isn't random. This isn't meaningless. This isn't me forgetting about you or abandoning you or being too busy with more important things. You are important. Your life matters. Your loneliness matters. Your pain matters. And I am working in it, through it, sometimes even because of it, to create something beautiful, something redemptive, something that will one day make you say, like Joseph said, you intended it for harm, but God intended it for good. The waves keep coming. They don't know the future. They don't know what tomorrow's tide will bring. They just keep showing up, faithful to their nature, trusting in the rhythm that was set for them at the foundation of the world. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Keep showing up. Keep trusting. Keep believing that even though you can't see me clearly right now, even though you feel forgotten, even though the loneliness is crushing, I am here. I am working. I am faithful. Joseph's prison years weren't wasted years. They were preparation years. They were character-forming years. They were years when was teaching him things he would need to know when he stepped into his purpose. Humility, patience, dependence on me, the ability to endure injustice without becoming bitter, the ability to suffer without losing faith. And your lonely years, your waiting years, your years of feeling forgotten, they're not wasted either. I'm teaching you things in this season that you'll need in the next season. I'm developing character in you that can only be developed through waiting. I'm building faith in you that can only be built through not seeing. I'm creating depths in your soul that can only be carved out through loneliness. I know that's hard to hear when you're in the middle of it. When you're in the prison cell, you don't want to hear about character development. You want to hear about release. When you're lonely, you don't want to hear about purpose. You want to hear about companionship. When you're forgotten, you don't want to hear about preparation. You want to hear about recognition. And I hear that. I'm not dismissing it. I'm not minimizing your pain by talking about purpose. The pain is real. The loneliness is real. The feeling of being forgotten is real. And it's okay to want it to change. It's okay to pray for it to change. It's okay to cry out to me and ask me how much longer. Joseph asked that. I'm sure of it. In those long, lonely years in prison, I'm sure he cried out to me and asked how much longer. When would the cupbearer remember? When would his circumstances change? When would he see his father again? When would the dreams I'd given him as a young man finally come true? And I didn't always answer with words. Sometimes I answered with presence, with the strength to face another day, with the grace to not become bitter, with the faith to keep believing even when there was no evidence that anything was changing. That's what I'm offering you tonight. Not necessarily answers, not necessarily immediate change, but presence, strength for another day, grace to face your loneliness without letting it destroy you, faith to keep believing that you're not forgotten, even when you feel forgotten by everyone. The fire is burning low now, but it's still here, still warm, still faithful. And so am I, still here, still warm toward you, still faithful to you. Even when everyone else forgets, I remember. Even when everyone else moves on, I stay. Even when everyone else is too busy, I'm paying attention. You are not Joseph in the prison. But if you were, I would be there with you. I was there with Joseph. I was there in that cell, in that loneliness, in those years of waiting. And I'm here with you now, in your loneliness, in your waiting, in your feeling of being forgotten. You are not forgotten. You are seen. You are known. You are loved. And one day, when you see the full picture, when you understand what I was doing in this season, you'll see that every moment mattered. Every lonely night had purpose. Every tear was collected. Every prayer was heard. Until then, trust the waves, trust the rhythm, trust that I am faithful even when you can't feel it. Trust that I am present even when you can't sense it. Trust that I am working even when you can't see it. You are mine, and I never, ever forget what's mine. You know what else happened in that prison? Something the Bible doesn't explicitly say, but that I know was true because I was there, experiencing it with Joseph. He had to make a choice every single day, a choice between bitterness and hope, between resentment and faith, between closing his heart to protect himself from more pain, or keeping his heart open to me even when it hurt. Every morning when he woke up on that hard prison floor, he had to choose. He could rehearse the betrayals. He could replay the injustices. He could count up all the ways he'd been wronged, all the people who'd failed him, all the promises that had been broken. He could let the anger and bitterness consume him until there was nothing left but rage and despair. Or he could choose to trust me, to believe that even though he couldn't see it, even though it didn't make sense, even though every visible piece of evidence suggested he'd been forgotten and abandoned, I was still there, still working, still faithful, and day after day, Year after year, Joseph chose trust. That's why when his moment came, when Pharaoh called for him, he was ready. His heart hadn't become hard. His spirit hadn't become broken. He could still interpret dreams because he'd stayed connected to me through all those lonely years. He could still lead because he'd learned to follow me in the darkness. He could still forgive because he'd learned to receive my forgiveness for his own bitter thoughts and angry moments. That's what I'm inviting you into right now. Not a passive acceptance of your loneliness, not a resignation to being forgotten, but an active choice to trust me in the middle of it, to keep your heart soft even when it wants to harden, to keep your spirit open even when it wants to close, to keep believing even when belief feels impossible. And I know that's hard. I know some days it feels impossible. I know there are mornings when you wake up and the weight of another day of loneliness feels like too much to bear, when you don't want to choose trust again, when you're tired of being faithful with no visible results, when you just want to give up, close off, protect yourself from caring anymore. On those days, I want you to remember something. Joseph didn't know the end of his story. He didn't know that one day he'd be second in command of Egypt. He didn't know that his suffering had a purpose, that his waiting had a reason, that his loneliness was preparing him for something significant. He just knew that in the moment, in the daily reality of prison life, he had to choose whether to trust me or not. And he chose to trust. Not because he felt my presence strongly, not because he had clear evidence I was working, not because his circumstances were improving. He chose to trust because that's what faith is. Faith is believing in what you can't see. Faith is trusting when you don't understand. Faith is choosing hope when despair would be easier. Listen to the ocean. The waves are smaller now as the tide turns, but they're still coming, still faithful. Even as the tide goes out, even as the water retreats, the waves keep coming. They don't stop just because the rhythm is changing. They don't give up just because things look different than they did an hour ago. That's the kind of faithfulness I'm showing you. That's the kind of constancy I'm offering you. My presence doesn't ebb and flow like the tide. It doesn't increase and decrease based on your circumstances or your feelings or the season you're in. It's constant. Always. Forever. Unchanging. You might feel closer to me some days than others. You might sense my presence more clearly in some seasons than in others. But that's about your perception, not about my reality. I am always exactly the same distance from you, always exactly as present, always exactly as attentive, always exactly as loving. When Joseph was in that prison, I was as close to him as I was when he stood before Pharaoh. When he was forgotten in a cell, I was as attentive to him as I was when he was honored in the palace. His circumstances changed dramatically, but my presence with him never changed at all. And the same is true for you. Whether you're in a season of abundance or a season of lack, whether you're surrounded by people or completely alone, whether you're succeeding or failing, whether you're remembered or forgotten, I am with you. The same yesterday, today, and forever. Unchanging, unshakable, unfailing. The fire is mostly coals now, barely any flame left. But if you put your hands over it, you'd still feel intense heat. The warmth is still there, concentrated in those glowing coals. Sometimes that's what my presence feels like in the lonely seasons. Not the bright flames of dramatic experiences, not the high emotions of mountaintop moments, just steady, concentrated heat, warmth that goes deep, presence that sustains. And sometimes that's actually better than the flames. Flames are exciting, but they're also consuming. They burn through fuel quickly. They require constant attention and feeding. But coals, deep red coals like these, they burn slow and steady. They last through the night. They provide consistent warmth without the drama of flames. That's what I want to give you in this season of loneliness. Not constant emotional highs, not dramatic interventions, not flashy miracles that make everyone notice, but steady, deep, lasting presence, the kind of warmth that sustains you through the long night, the kind of companionship that doesn't need to be exciting to be real. Joseph learned to live with the coals instead of the flames. He learned that my presence in prison was just as real as my presence in the palace would later be. He learned that I was with him in the waiting, not just in the breakthrough, in the loneliness, not just in the reunion, in the darkness, not just in the light. And what he learned in prison became his strength in the palace. When he stood before Pharaoh, when he suddenly had power and influence and authority, he didn't let it go to his head because he'd learned in prison that those things weren't what mattered most. What mattered most was staying connected to me, staying faithful, staying humble, staying dependent. The years of feeling forgotten taught him that being remembered by people wasn't what made him valuable. My remembrance of him, my faithfulness to him, my purpose for him, that's what gave his life meaning. Not the opinions of others, not the recognition of the world, not even the justice of seeing his dreams come true. And that's what your lonely season can teach you too, if you let it. That your value doesn't come from being remembered by people. Your worth isn't determined by how many people notice you or think about you or miss you when you're gone. Your significance doesn't depend on external validation or social connection or human recognition. You are valuable because I made you. You are worthy because I love you. You are significant because I have a purpose for you. And none of that changes whether you're surrounded by adoring crowds or sitting alone in the darkness. It's true regardless of your circumstances. It's true because of who I am, not because of what you do or who you know or how many people remember your name. That's freedom, real freedom. When you understand that your value is inherent, given by me, unchanging, regardless of external circumstances, you're free from the exhausting work of trying to make people remember you. Free from the desperate need to be noticed. Free from the crushing weight of feeling invisible. You can be alone without being worthless. You can be forgotten by people without being insignificant. You can be invisible to the world without being unseen, because I see you. And my sight is the one that matters most. My opinion is the one that defines you. My love is the one that gives you value. The waves are quieter now, softer, as the tide continues to turn. But they're still there, still coming, still faithful. And in the quiet, you can hear them more clearly. Sometimes it's in the quiet seasons, the lonely seasons, the forgotten seasons, that you hear me most clearly, not because I speak louder then, but because everything else gets quieter. All the noise and distraction and busyness falls away, and it's just you and me. Joseph heard me clearly in prison. He heard me when he interpreted the cupbearer's dream. He heard me when he interpreted Pharaoh's dream. He heard me when he made the decision to forgive his brothers. He heard me because he'd learned to listen in the silence, in the loneliness, in the years when no one else was talking to him. And you can hear me too, right now, in your loneliness, in your feeling of being forgotten. I'm speaking. Not in thunder or earthquake or fire necessarily, but in the still small voice, the gentle whisper, the quiet knowing in your heart that you're not alone, that you're not forgotten, that you matter. Can you hear it? Under the sound of the waves, under the crackling of the coals, under all the noise in your own head, telling you that you're invisible and insignificant and abandoned. Can you hear the truth? The quiet, persistent, unchanging truth that I am here, I am with you, I love you, I will never leave you. That truth doesn't always shout, it doesn't force itself on you. It waits, patient and gentle, for you to quiet yourself enough to hear it. For you to stop straining after human validation and recognition and remembrance, and to rest in the reality of my presence. Joseph rested in that truth. Even when the cupbearer forgot him, even when 2 more years passed, even when it seemed like his entire life would be spent in that prison, forgotten and alone. He rested in the truth that I knew where he was. I knew his name. I had a purpose for him, and that was enough. Not always easy, not always comfortable, not what he would have chosen, but enough. Because I am enough. I am sufficient. I am all you need, even when you want so much more. Even when you're lonely for human connection and desperate for someone to remember you and aching for relationships that feel real and lasting. I am here. I am real. I am lasting. And I am enough to sustain you through this season, through this loneliness, through this feeling of being forgotten. Not because your loneliness doesn't matter or because human connection isn't important, but because underneath everything, the deepest need of your soul is to be known and loved by me. And you are. You absolutely are. So rest here by this fire a while longer. Let the waves remind you of my faithfulness. Let the coals remind you of my steady, enduring presence. Let the darkness remind you that even when you can't see me clearly, I'm still here, still with you, still working, still faithful. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not invisible. Not to me. Never to me. I see you. I know you. I love you. And I'm not going anywhere. That's my promise. And unlike the cupbearer's promise, mine will never be broken. I always remember. I always stay. I am always faithful. You are mine. And I never, ever forget what's mine. The tide has turned now. Can you hear the difference? The waves are coming from a slightly different angle. The rhythm has shifted just a bit, but they're still coming. They never stopped. They never will. And I want to talk to you about that, about the faithfulness represented in these waves, about what it means that they keep coming, no matter what. Think about it. These waves don't know you're here. They don't know you're hurting. They don't know you're lonely. They have no awareness of your circumstances, your pain, your struggle, and yet they keep coming. Not for you specifically, but as part of something bigger, as part of a rhythm established at the foundation of the world, as part of a faithfulness that doesn't depend on audience or recognition or response. That's what my faithfulness is like. It doesn't depend on whether you notice it or acknowledge it or even believe in it. It just is, like these waves, like the sun rising every morning, like the stars appearing every night, like your heart beating in your chest right now, whether you think about it or not. My faithfulness to you is a constant, unchanging reality that exists independent of your awareness of it. You've been feeling alone because you've been looking for faithfulness in the wrong places. You've been looking for it in people who promise to call and then don't, in friends who say they'll be there and then aren't, in relationships that feel solid until they suddenly aren't, in your own ability to hold things together, to stay strong, to keep going. And all of those things have failed you at some point. All of them have proven unreliable. But I want to redirect your attention. I want you to stop looking for faithfulness in changing, uncertain human sources and start seeing the faithfulness that's been here all along. Constant, reliable, unchanging, like these waves. Do you know what determines the tides? It's the moon. That bright disk you can barely see through the clouds tonight. The moon's gravitational pull on the Earth's oceans creates the tides. High tide, low tide, the constant rhythm of water rising and falling, all because of the moon's steady, predictable influence. The moon doesn't try to create tides. It doesn't work at it. It just exists. And its very existence creates this rhythm. That's what my presence does in your life. I don't have to try to be faithful to you. I don't have to work at being constant. It's not an effort for me. It's my nature. My very existence creates faithfulness. I can't not be faithful. It would be like asking the moon to stop affecting the tides. It's not possible. It's contrary to the fundamental nature of things. The writer of Lamentations understood this. In the middle of describing terrible suffering, devastating loss, crushing circumstances, he wrote these words: "Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness, new every morning. Like these waves, like the tide coming in, fresh, reliable, constant. Not recycled faithfulness, not rationed compassion, not limited love that you have to be careful not to use up. New compassion, fresh mercy, renewed faithfulness. Every single morning, every single moment, every single breath. You wake up and the loneliness is still there, and you think, nothing has changed. I'm still alone, still forgotten, still invisible. But what you're missing is that my faithfulness is new this morning. My compassion for you is fresh. My love for you has been renewed. Not because it was running out, but because that's how I work. I don't just maintain the same level of faithfulness. I pour out new faithfulness every day. Listen to the waves again. Each one is different, isn't it? If you really pay attention, no two waves are exactly alike. Some are bigger, some smaller. Some crash with force, others whisper up the sand. Some come quickly, others take their time. But they all come. They all complete their journey to the shore. They're all part of the same faithful rhythm. That's how my faithfulness works in your life too. It doesn't look the same every day. Some days my presence feels strong and obvious. Other days it's subtle, easy to miss. Some days you sense me clearly in your circumstances. Other days you have to search for evidence that I'm there at all. But I'm always there, always coming to you, always faithful. The variation is in your perception, not in my reality. You know what else is interesting about waves? They're incredibly powerful. A wave doesn't look threatening when you're watching it from the beach. It looks beautiful, peaceful even. But waves can move massive boulders. They can reshape coastlines. They can carve away solid rock. Drop by drop, wave by wave. Over time, water is one of the most powerful forces on Earth. That's what my faithful presence is doing in your life, even when you can't see it. Even when it feels like nothing is changing. Even when your loneliness feels as solid and immovable as a boulder. Wave by wave, day by day, moment by moment, my presence is working, shaping you, changing you, preparing you. Not with dramatic force, but with patient, persistent, faithful presence. The loneliness you're feeling right now, it feels permanent, doesn't it? Like it's always been there and always will be. Like it's just part of who you are now. Like you'll never not be lonely. But I want you to know something. This loneliness is not a boulder that will sit in your heart forever. It's being worn down, reshaped, changed by the faithful presence of my love, even when you can't feel it happening. You might not see evidence of change tomorrow, or next week, or even next month. But over time, as my faithfulness keeps washing over you, keeps coming to you like these waves, you will change. Your heart will soften. Your hope will return. Your ability to trust will be rebuilt. Not all at once, but gradually. Wave by wave, day by day. The problem is that we live in a world that values instant results, quick fixes, immediate transformations. You pray for your loneliness to be healed and expect it to disappear overnight. You ask me to bring people into your life and expect them to show up by next Tuesday. You cry out for change and then check the next morning to see if anything's different. And when it's not, you think I haven't heard you or don't care or I'm not working. But that's not how I usually work. Oh, I can work that way. I can absolutely do miracles. I can change things in an instant when I choose to. But more often, I work like these waves. Faithfully, persistently, patiently, over time. Because the changes I want to make in you aren't just external. They're deep. They're foundational. And foundation-level change takes time. Think about the beach itself. This sand you're sitting on. Every grain of it was once part of a larger rock somewhere. And over thousands of years, water and wind and time broke those rocks down. Grain by grain. Slowly, patiently, until eventually those massive rocks became this soft, smooth sand. That's what I'm doing with the hard places in your heart. The places that have been broken by betrayal. The places that have turned to stone because of disappointment. The places that feel jagged and sharp and painful. I'm not smashing them to bits all at once. I'm patiently, faithfully, gently wearing them down, smoothing them out, transforming them from something that hurts into something that can receive and hold and nurture life. The waves are still coming. They haven't stopped once since we sat down here. They won't stop when you leave. They'll be here tomorrow night and the night after that and 100 years from now. They don't require your attention to keep going. They don't need your belief to be real. They just are. Faithful, constant, true. And that's exactly what my presence is like in your life. It doesn't require your constant awareness. It doesn't depend on your ability to sense it or feel it or recognize it. It's there whether you notice it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you feel it or not. I am with you, always, faithfully, constantly. In the book of Deuteronomy, I made a promise through Moses. I said, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Goes before you, is with you, will never leave, will never forsake." That's 4 different ways of saying the same thing, because I really, really need you to get this. I am with you. I am not going anywhere. The Hebrew word used there for leave is rapha. It means to let drop, to abandon, to let go of. And I'm saying I will never ever do that to you. I will never drop you, never abandon you, never let go of you. No matter what, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, no matter how long you feel lonely, I will not let go. And the word for forsake is azab. It means to leave someone in their time of need, to desert them when they need you most, to turn your back and walk away. And I'm promising you, on this beach tonight, with these waves as witnesses, I will never do that. Not when you're lonely, not when you're struggling, not when you're doubting, not when you're angry at me, not when you're ignoring me, not ever. You might walk away from me. You might ignore my presence. You might doubt my faithfulness. You might even rage at me and tell me you don't believe I'm there. But I will not leave you. I will not forsake you. I will keep coming to you like these waves. Faithful, patient, persistent, waiting for the moment when you're ready to notice again, ready to believe again, ready to receive again. The fire is almost completely coals now. Just a deep, steady glow. No more flames reaching up, just concentrated heat. And you know what? It's actually giving off more usable warmth now than it did when the flames were high. The flames were pretty to look at, but they consumed wood quickly and sent most of their heat up into the air. These coals are efficient. They radiate heat evenly. They last for hours. That's what sustained faithfulness looks like. Not flashy, not dramatic, not constantly demanding attention, just steady, reliable, always there, providing what you need without a lot of show. And sometimes that's harder to appreciate than the dramatic moments. Sometimes you'd rather have the high flames, the emotional experiences, the obvious evidence of my presence. But what you need right now, in this season of loneliness, is not more dramatic experiences. It's faithful presence. It's the knowledge that I'm here, steady and constant, providing what you need even when it doesn't feel exciting or obvious. It's the deep, lasting warmth of my love that doesn't burn out when the emotions fade. The psalmist wrote, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble." Ever present, not sometimes present, not present when you deserve it, or when you've earned it, or when you're doing everything right. Ever present, always, constantly, in every moment, in every circumstance, in trouble and in peace, in loneliness and in community, in darkness and in light. I am your ever-present help, not your occasional help, not your emergency-only help, your ever-present help, present right now in this moment as you sit by this fire feeling lonely, present yesterday when you woke up to another empty day, present tomorrow when you'll face whatever comes, ever present. The waves know something about being ever present. They don't take breaks. They don't call in sick. They don't decide they're too tired to keep going. They just keep coming. And that's not a burden for them. It's not exhausting. It's just what they do. It's their nature. It's the expression of forces much bigger than themselves. And being present with you is not a burden for me either. It's not exhausting. I don't get tired of you. I don't wish you were less needy or less lonely or less complicated. Being with you, loving you, being faithful to you, it's not something I have to force myself to do. It's the expression of who I am. It's my nature. I am love, and love is faithful, and so I am faithful to you. Always. You've probably been taught to feel guilty for needing me so much, for crying out to me so often, for asking for help when you feel weak, for wanting reassurance when you feel alone. Like, somehow your neediness is a problem, a failure, something you should overcome. Like mature faith means not needing me as much, but that's backwards. Mature faith means recognizing how much you need me and being honest about it. Mature faith means coming to me with your neediness instead of trying to hide it or fix it yourself. Mature faith means understanding that these waves of my faithfulness are here precisely because you need them. Because I knew you would need constant, reliable, ever-present love. I didn't create you to be self-sufficient. I created you to be dependent. On me, first and foremost. I created you with needs that only I can ultimately fulfill. With longings that point you back to me. With a hunger for connection that finds its deepest satisfaction in knowing me. And the loneliness you're feeling right now, as painful as it is partly that holy hunger. That deep need for me that's been designed into your very being. Yes, you need human connection too. Yes, I want you to have relationships, community, people who know you and love you. But underneath all of that, you need me. And your loneliness, your feeling of being forgotten, it's waking you up to that need. It's stripping away the distractions and the substitutes and the things you've been using to try to fill the God-shaped hole in your heart. And it's painful, but it's also necessary. Because once you learn to find me in the loneliness, once you learn to sense my faithful presence, even when everyone else is absent, once you experience the reality of these waves that keep coming no matter what, you'll have something that can't be taken from you. A foundation that can't be shaken. A source of love and acceptance and belonging that doesn't depend on other people's behavior or choices or faithfulness. Listen to the waves one more time. Really listen. Hear how they overlap. One wave is still washing up the beach while the next one is already forming. There's no gap, no break, no moment when the ocean stops being the ocean, stops doing what oceans do. It's constant motion, constant giving, constant faithful presence at the shore. That's me with you. One wave of grace while you're still receiving the last one. One moment of presence flowing into the next with no gap, no break, no moment when I stop being who I am, stop doing what I do, stop loving you the way I love you. Constant, faithful, ever present. The loneliness you feel is real. I'm not dismissing it, but it's not the deepest truth about your life. The deepest truth is that you are surrounded by, immersed in, held by my faithful love. Like the beach is surrounded by these waves. Like the shore is constantly touched by the ocean. You are constantly touched by my presence, my love, my faithfulness. And just like the beach doesn't have to do anything to receive the waves, you don't have to do anything to receive my love. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to perform for it. You don't have to be less lonely or more faithful or stronger or better. You just have to be, to exist, to be yourself in all your loneliness and need and brokenness and humanness, and I will keep coming to you, keep loving you, keep being faithful to you. The waves keep coming, and so do I. That's my promise. That's my nature. That's who I am. Faithful, constant, ever present. With you, always with you. Never leaving, never forsaking, never stopping, never giving up on you. You are not alone. You have never been alone. These waves are my reminder to you, my testimony, my promise written in water and time and faithful rhythm. I am here. I am with you. I am for you. And I will never, ever stop coming to you, loving you, being present with you. Rest in that. Let it be the solid ground beneath your loneliness. Let it be the truth that holds you when everything else feels uncertain. Let it be the rhythm that steadies your anxious heart. I am faithful. I am here. And I'm not going anywhere. You know what else these waves teach us? They teach us about grace, about unearned, unmerited, freely given love. Think about it. The beach doesn't do anything to deserve the waves. It doesn't perform. It doesn't strive. It doesn't prove itself worthy. It just exists, and the waves come to it. Not because the beach has earned them, but because that's what waves do. That's the nature of the ocean, and that's what grace is. That's what my love is. It comes to you not because you've earned it, not because you deserve it, not because you've done everything right or believed hard enough or been faithful enough. It comes to you because that's who I am. That's my nature. I can't not love you. I can't not be faithful to you. It's as impossible for me to stop loving you as it is for the ocean to stop sending waves to the shore. You've been trying so hard, haven't you? Trying to be good enough, trying to be faithful enough, trying to pray enough, believe enough, do enough to somehow earn my presence, my attention, my love. And you're exhausted from the trying. You're worn out from the effort. You're discouraged because no matter how hard you try, the loneliness is still there. You still feel forgotten. You still feel alone. But I want you to stop trying for a moment. Just stop. Be still. Be the beach. Let yourself just exist. Just be. Without all the striving and performing and working for approval. And watch what happens. Watch the waves keep coming anyway. Watch my love keep reaching for you anyway. Watch my faithfulness keep showing up anyway. Not because you did anything. Not because you earned it. Not because you finally got your faith strong enough, or your prayers right enough, or your life cleaned up enough. But because I am faithful. Because love is who I am. Because I cannot not love you, any more than the ocean can decide to keep its waves to itself. The prophet Jeremiah, writing during one of the darkest times in Israel's history, when the people had been unfaithful and rebellious and had turned away from me repeatedly, still wrote these words about my faithfulness. He wrote them from personal experience, from a place of suffering and loneliness and seeing his world fall apart. And he said, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end." Never ceases. Never ends. Not sometimes ceases or occasionally ends, or stops when you mess up too badly. Never ceases. My love for you is steadfast, firm, unwavering. It doesn't fluctuate based on your performance. It doesn't increase when you're doing well and decrease when you're struggling. It's steadfast, constant, unchanging. And my mercies never come to an end. You can't use them up. You can't exhaust them. You can't reach the bottom of my mercy and find there's no more left for you. They're renewed every morning, remember? Fresh mercy, new compassion, not recycled grace that's running low, not rationed love that you need to use carefully. Abundant, overflowing, never-ending mercy. You know why that matters so much for your loneliness? Because your loneliness is probably tangled up with shame, with the feeling that maybe you're alone because you deserve to be alone. Maybe people leave you because there's something wrong with you. Maybe you're forgotten because you're forgettable. Maybe the reason you feel invisible is because you're not worth seeing. And all of those thoughts, all of those lies, they keep you trapped in your loneliness. They keep you from reaching out. They keep you from being vulnerable. They keep you hiding, protecting yourself, keeping people at a distance because you're convinced that if they really knew you, they'd leave too, just like everyone else has left. But my never-ceasing, never-ending love breaks that cycle. It tells you that you're not alone because of some deficiency in you. You're not forgotten because you're not worth remembering. You're not invisible because you lack value. You're loved. You're seen. You're known. You're precious, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. My beloved creation, my treasured child. The waves don't check the beach's resume before they come to shore. They don't evaluate whether the beach has been good enough or worthy enough. They just come. And I don't evaluate your worthiness before I love you. I don't check your performance record before I show up. I just come to you, with you, for you, because that's who I am. Can you feel the sand beneath you? It's cool now. The warmth from the day has faded as the night has deepened, but it's still there, still solid, still holding you up. And that's what my faithfulness does. It's the solid ground beneath you. It doesn't always feel warm. It doesn't always feel comforting in the way you want it to. But it's there, always there, holding you, supporting you, keeping you from falling into nothingness. Your loneliness makes you feel like you're falling, like there's nothing beneath you, nothing to catch you, nothing to hold you up, like you're just suspended in empty space with nothing and no one to keep you from dropping into the void. But that's not true. I am beneath you. My faithfulness is the ground you stand on. My love is what's holding you up, and I will not let you fall. The writer of Hebrews says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. The same, not variable, not moody, not changing based on circumstances or feelings or your behavior. The same. Yesterday, when you felt less lonely, I loved you. Today, in the depths of your loneliness, I love you. Tomorrow, whether you're still lonely or not, I will love you. The same, always the same, and forever. Not just for now, not just until you get your act together, not just until you're strong enough to not need me anymore. Forever, eternal, unending. My love for you doesn't have an expiration date. My faithfulness to you doesn't have a limit. There is no point at which I will say, okay, that's enough. I'm done now. Forever means forever. Listen to how the waves sound now, softer than they were earlier. The tide is definitely going out. The waves are smaller, quieter, but they're still coming, still faithful. And even at low tide, when the water is far out, and the waves seem so small and distant they never actually stop, they keep coming. They keep touching the shore. They keep being what they are. And that's how my presence is in different seasons of your life. Sometimes it feels like high tide, like I'm close, obvious, easy to sense. Like my love is washing over you in big, undeniable waves. And other times it feels like low tide. Like I'm far away, distant, hard to perceive. Like my presence has receded and left you alone on an empty beach. But just like the tide, my apparent distance isn't actual distance. The ocean doesn't leave when the tide goes out. It's still there. The water has just shifted position. And I don't leave when you can't sense me as clearly. I'm still here. Your perception has just shifted. Your ability to feel me has changed. But I haven't moved. I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever. And even at low tide, even in the seasons when I feel far away, the waves still come. Maybe they're smaller. Maybe they're quieter. Maybe you have to pay closer attention to notice them. But they come. And my love still reaches you. My faithfulness still touches your life. My presence is still with you. Maybe it's subtler. Maybe you have to pay closer attention to sense it. But It's there. The problem is that we often equate God's presence with our feelings about God's presence. We think that if we feel close to God, then God must be close. And if we feel far from God, then God must be far. But that's not how it works. God's closeness or distance is not determined by our feelings. It's determined by His nature, by His promises, by His unchanging commitment to us. You can feel abandoned and still be held. You can feel forgotten and still be remembered. You can feel alone and still be accompanied every single moment. Your feelings are real. They matter. They deserve to be acknowledged and validated. But they don't determine reality. Reality is that I am with you, whether you feel it or not. King David understood this. In Psalm 139, he wrote about trying to escape from God's presence. He imagined going up to the heavens or down to the depths. He imagined flying to the far side of the sea or hiding in darkness. And his conclusion, even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast. Even there, even in the loneliest place, even in the darkest moment, even in the deepest pain, even there I am with you. My hand is guiding you. My right hand is holding you fast. Not loosely, not tentatively, not with a grip that might slip if things get too hard. Fast, firmly, securely. The waves are holding the shore fast right now. They're not letting go. They're not retreating completely. They're still there, still connected, still in relationship with the land, even as the tide goes out. And I'm holding you fast. I'm not letting go. I'm not retreating from you. I'm still here, still connected, still in relationship with you, even when you feel most alone. You know what's beautiful about this? You don't have to maintain this connection. You don't have to work to keep me present. You don't have to pray hard enough or believe strong enough or be faithful enough to somehow hold on to me. I'm holding on to you. My grip on you is secure. You can let go of me in your weakness or your doubt or your anger, and I will still be holding you, because I am the one doing the holding, not you. That takes the pressure off, doesn't it? You don't have to perform. You don't have to maintain. You don't have to somehow keep your faith strong enough to keep me around. I'm not staying with you because of your faith. I'm staying with you because of my faithfulness. And my faithfulness doesn't depend on yours. The fire has gone from bright flames to glowing coals, to just the faintest red glow. But you can still feel warmth if you hold your hands over it. The heat is still there, concentrated in the center. And that's okay. That's natural. That's how fires work. They don't burn at the same intensity forever. They change, they shift, but the warmth can still be there, even when the obvious flames are gone. Your spiritual life is going to have seasons like this. Seasons when God's presence feels like bright flames, obvious, warm, undeniable, and seasons when it feels like barely glowing coals, subtle, quiet, easy to miss. But in both seasons, the warmth is real, the presence is real, the faithfulness is real. Don't judge the reality of my presence by the intensity of your feelings about my presence. Judge it by my promises, by my word, by my track record of faithfulness throughout all of human history and throughout your own life. Have I been faithful before? Then I will be faithful again. Have I kept my promises before? Then I will keep them again. Have I been with you before? Then I am with you now. The waves know this. They don't question whether they should keep coming. They don't doubt their purpose. They don't worry that maybe this time the shore won't be there, or the rhythm will break. They just come, faithful to their nature, true to their purpose, consistent with their character. And I am faithful to my nature, which is love, true to my purpose, which includes being in relationship with you, consistent with my character, which is unchanging, steadfast, reliable. I just come to you, for you, with you, because that's who I am, because I cannot be other than who I am. Because loving you faithfully is as natural to me as waves coming to shore is natural to the ocean. So let yourself rest in this. Let yourself trust this. Not perfectly, not without doubts or questions or struggles, but as best as you can in this moment. Trust that the waves of my love keep coming. Trust that my faithfulness doesn't depend on your ability to sense it. Trust that you are held, known, loved, remembered, valued, precious to me. And when you wake up tomorrow and the loneliness is still there, remember the waves. Remember that they kept coming all night long while you slept. Remember that faithfulness doesn't take breaks. Remember that I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. You are not alone. The waves testify to it. The tide proves it. The constant rhythm of water meeting shore declares it. I am with you, always, faithfully, forever. The night is deeper now, quieter. The world feels smaller somehow, like it's just you and me and this fire and these waves. And I want to talk to you about something very personal, something intimate. I want to talk to you about your name, not just your name as a label, not just the sounds people make when they want your attention, but your real name, the name I know you by, the name that captures who you really are, beneath all the masks and pretenses and self-protection. The name that speaks to your essence, your soul, your true identity. I know that name. I've always known it. I knew it before you were born, before you were conceived, before your parents ever met. I knew you. I called you by name before you took your first breath. And I'm calling you by that name right now. Beloved. That's what I call you. Beloved. Not because of what you do, not because of how you perform, not because you've earned it or deserved it, but because that's what you are to me. You are my beloved, my treasured one, my precious child. I know you struggle to believe that sometimes, maybe most of the time, because the voices in your head tell you different things. They tell you you're forgettable, unimportant, just another face in the crowd, too ordinary to matter, too broken to be loved, too messy to be cherished. And those voices are loud, aren't they? They drown out everything else. They convince you that you're invisible, that you don't matter, that no one sees you. But I see you. I've always seen you. And when I look at you, do you know what I see? I see my beloved. I see someone worth dying for. I see someone I chose to love before the foundation of the world. I see beauty and potential and worth that goes beyond anything you can imagine. Do you remember the story of Mary at the tomb? After I rose from the dead, early that Sunday morning, she went to the tomb looking for my body. She found the stone rolled away and the tomb empty, and she wept. She thought someone had taken my body. She was devastated, and when I appeared to her, she didn't recognize me at first. She thought I was the gardener. But then I said one word, just one. Mary! I called her by name, and immediately she knew. She knew it was me. Not because of how I looked, not because of what I was wearing, but because of how I said her name, because I was the only one who said her name that way, with that much tenderness, with that much love, with that much recognition of who she really was. And when I said her name, everything changed for her. Her grief turned to joy. Her confusion turned to clarity. Her sense of loss turned to overwhelming presence, because she was seen, she was known, she was called by name, and she knew she mattered. That's what I'm doing with you right now, beloved. I'm calling your name. Not out loud, maybe, not in an audible voice that your ears can hear, but in your spirit, in that deep place inside you where you really live. I'm calling your name. I'm saying it with all the tenderness I have, with all the love I am, with complete recognition of who you really are. You are not anonymous to me. You're not just another person in my vast creation. You're not a number or a statistic or an insignificant speck. You are you. unique, irreplaceable, known by name. And your name on my lips is beloved. There's another story I want to tell you about a man named Zacchaeus. He was a tax collector, which meant he was hated by his own people, considered a traitor, a thief, collaborating with the Roman occupiers and getting rich off his neighbors' suffering. No one wanted to be near him. No one would invite him to their homes. He was wealthy, but utterly alone. And one day, when I was passing through his town, he climbed a tree just to get a glimpse of me. He couldn't see over the crowd, so he climbed up like a child, desperate just to see what all the fuss was about. And when I got to that tree, I stopped. I looked up, and I called him by name. Zacchaeus, that's what I said. Not hey you in the tree, not tax collector. Zacchaeus, his name. And then I said, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. Do you understand what happened there? In a crowd of people, in a whole town full of supposedly righteous, respectable folks, I saw Zacchaeus. I knew his name, and I chose him. I chose to be with him, to eat with him, to honor him with my presence. The one everyone else rejected, I called by name and welcomed. The religious people were scandalized. They muttered and complained. He's gone to be the guest of a sinner. But I didn't care about their complaints. I cared about Zacchaeus. I saw him. I knew him. I called him by name. And that moment changed his entire life. You're like Zacchaeus sometimes, aren't you? Hiding up in a tree, watching from a distance, convinced that you're too much of a mess for me to notice, too much of a sinner for me to choose, too broken for me to want to be with. You think maybe if you're quiet enough, small enough, unobtrusive enough, you can just observe from afar without anyone seeing how lonely and desperate you really are. But I see you, up in your tree, behind your walls, in your hiding place. I see you, and I'm calling your name. I'm saying, come down. I want to be with you. Today. Right now. Not when you get your life together. Not when you fix all your problems. Not when you become someone more worthy. Now. As you are. Because you're already worthy to me. Not because of what you've done, but because of whose you are. You're mine. You're my beloved. And I want to be with you. In your mess. In your brokenness. In your loneliness. I'm not waiting for you to clean yourself up first. I'm inviting myself into your life right now, just as it is. The waves are whispering now, soft and gentle, like they're telling secrets to the shore. And that's what I'm doing with you, telling you secrets, truths that the world doesn't understand, truths that your loneliness tries to hide from you, truths about who you really are and how I really see you. You are beloved. Say it with me. I am beloved. Let those words sink in. Let them touch the places in your heart that feel unlovable. Let them speak to the parts of you that feel forgotten and invisible and worthless. I am beloved. Not because I'm perfect, not because I have it all together, but because the God of the universe calls me beloved. There was a disciple named Thomas. You probably know him as Doubting Thomas. After I rose from the dead, the other disciples told him they'd seen me. But he didn't believe them. He said, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands and put my finger where the nails were and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." And you know what I did? A week later, I appeared to all of them again, and I went straight to Thomas. I didn't shame him for his doubts. I didn't condemn him for his unbelief. I didn't reject him for being the one who couldn't just take everyone else's word for it. I offered him exactly what he said he needed. I showed him my hands. I invited him to touch my side. I met him where he was, in his doubt, in his need, in his struggle to believe. You know what that tells you? That I'm not afraid of your doubts. I'm not offended by your questions. I'm not put off by your struggle to believe that you're really loved, really seen, really important to me. You can bring all of that to me. all your skepticism, all your cynicism, all your "I'll believe it when I see it" moments. And I will meet you there. I'll show you my scars if that's what you need. I'll prove my love in whatever way will reach your wounded heart. I'll speak your name over and over until you finally believe that I know it, that I've always known it, that I will never forget it. Thomas's response, when he finally believed, was beautiful. He said, "My Lord and my God." Not the Lord, not God, my Lord, my God. Personal, intimate, belonging. That's the kind of relationship I want with you. Not distant, not formal, not just theological, but personal, real, intimate. You are mine and I am yours. Your Lord, your God, your friend, your constant companion, the one who knows your name and calls you beloved. The fire is almost completely dark now, just the faintest glow if you look closely. The heat is subtle but still there. And I'm still here too, still with you, still calling your name, still loving you with an intensity that doesn't need bright flames to be real. I want you to think about something. When was the last time someone said your name with love, with genuine affection, with tender care? Not just using your name as an identifier, but really saying it, savoring it, speaking it as if the very syllables were precious. For some of you, it's been so long you can't even remember. You've heard your name barked in frustration, muttered in disappointment, signed on formal documents, but spoken with love, with tenderness. It's been too long, but I say your name with love, every single time. I cannot say your name any other way because love is who I am. When I call you with affection, with tenderness, with delight. I'm not irritated that I have to get your attention. I'm not burdened by your need. I'm not disappointed that you're not doing better. I simply love you. And your name on my lips is always wrapped in that love. There's a verse in Isaiah that I want you to hold on to. I said, through the prophet, "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine." Read that again slowly. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. I haven't just vaguely called out into the universe hoping someone will respond. I have summoned you, specifically, by name. You, not someone else, not whoever happens to be available. You, because you are mine, because I have chosen you, because you belong to me. And then I say, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. For I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. Your Savior. Not the Savior, not a Savior. Your Savior. Personal, intimate, committed to you specifically. I know you by name, and I am your Savior, your rescuer, your deliverer, your hope. The loneliness you're feeling right now, it's like those waters, those rivers, that fire. It feels overwhelming, like it might sweep you away or burn you up, like it's too much to survive. But I'm telling you, I am with you in it. You will not be swept away. You will not be burned up. Because I am with you. Because you are mine. Because I know your name and I'm holding on to you. You might feel like you're drowning. You might feel like you're burning. But you're not. You're being refined. You're being shaped. You're passing through, not being destroyed by. And I'm with you every single step, every single moment, calling your name, reminding you who you are, holding you steady. Beloved, that's who you are. That's your identity. That's the name that matters more than any other name, more than your job title, more than your role in your family, more than whatever label the world has put on you or you've put on yourself. You are beloved, my beloved. And being beloved means you're not alone. It means you're seen. It means you're known. It means you're chosen. It means you're treasured. It means you matter. It means your life has purpose and meaning and significance that goes beyond anything you can see or understand right now. The waves are still there. Can you hear them? Quieter now, but still faithful. Still coming to shore. Still keeping their ancient rhythm. And my voice is like that too. Quiet sometimes. Subtle. Easy to miss if you're not listening. But always there. Always calling your name. Always reminding you that you're beloved. I want you to do something. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath and listen. Not with your ears, but with your heart. Listen for your name being called. Not in an audible voice necessarily, but in that deep, knowing place inside you. Listen for me saying, "Beloved, my beloved, you are mine. You are seen. You are known. You are loved." Can you hear it? Even faintly, even as just a whisper of possibility. That's me. That's my voice. That's what I've been saying to you all along, through all your loneliness, through all your pain, through all the moments when you felt invisible and forgotten. I've been calling your name. I've never stopped calling your name. You are not unknown. You are not a stranger. You are not just one more face in an endless crowd. You are you, unique, irreplaceable, known by name, called by name, loved by name, my beloved. And tomorrow, when you wake up and the loneliness tries to tell you again that you don't matter, that no one sees you, that you're forgotten and invisible, I want you to remember this moment. Remember the waves calling to the shore. Remember the fire glowing in the darkness. Remember me calling your name. Beloved, my beloved, that's who you are. That's who you've always been. That's who you'll always be. My beloved. And nothing, absolutely nothing can change that. Not your loneliness, not your pain, not your past, not your failures, not your doubts. Nothing. You are beloved, now and forever. Amen. But I know you still struggle with this. I know there's a part of you that hears these words and thinks, that's nice theology, that's a beautiful sentiment, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm alone tonight. It doesn't change the fact that my phone hasn't rung, that no one texted to check on me, that I could disappear tomorrow and most people wouldn't even notice. And I hear that. I really do. The practical reality of your loneliness is real. The empty chair across from you at dinner is real. The silence in your home is real. The lack of someone to share your day with is real. I'm not dismissing any of that by calling you beloved, but I need you to understand something. The people who don't call you, who don't text you, who don't notice you, they don't determine your value. They don't define your worth. They don't decide whether you matter or not. I do, and I have decided. You matter. You are valuable. You are worthy of love and attention and care. Not because of anything you've done, but because I say so. Because I made you. Because you're mine. And I notice you. Every single day. Every single moment. I notice when you smile, even though your heart is breaking. I notice when you keep going, even though you're exhausted. I notice when you're kind to the cashier, even though you feel invisible. I notice when you hold back tears in public because you don't want to burden anyone. I notice all of it. Every single thing. You think you're unseen, but I see you. You think you're unknown, but I know you better than you know yourself. You think no one pays attention, but I am always, constantly, continually paying attention to you. You have my full attention, not divided attention, not partial attention. Full, complete, undivided attention. Do you know what the psalmist said? You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. I know you completely. Every thought, every feeling, every hope, every fear, every dream, every regret. I know what you're going to say before you say it. I know what you're feeling before you fully recognize it yourself. I know the depths of your loneliness in ways you can't even articulate. And I'm here, in it, with you. When you sit down at night, alone, scrolling through social media, looking at other people's seemingly perfect lives and feeling more alone than ever, I'm sitting with you. When you lie down to sleep and the silence is so heavy you can barely breathe, I'm lying there with you. When you go out into the world and put on your brave face and pretend you're fine, I know you're not fine, and I'm with you in the pretending. I'm familiar with all your ways, the way you check your phone hoping for a message that doesn't come, the way you rehearse conversations you wish you could have, the way you imagine scenarios where someone finally sees you, finally notices you, finally cares. I know all of it, and I don't judge you for it. I don't think you're pathetic or needy or too much. I just love you. I see you in your humanity, in your loneliness, in your longing to be known. And I love you. There's a story about Peter that I want to share with you. After I rose from the dead, Peter and some of the other disciples went back to fishing. They'd been with me for 3 years, seen me die, heard reports that I was alive again, and they didn't know what to do with themselves. So they went back to what they knew, fishing. They fished all night and caught nothing. And in the morning, they saw someone on the shore. They didn't recognize me at first. I called out to them, told them to throw their net on the right side of the boat. They did. And suddenly the net was so full of fish, they could barely haul it in. And John said to Peter, "It is the Lord." And do you know what Peter did? He was so eager to get to me that he jumped into the water and swam to shore. He didn't wait for the boat. He didn't worry about the fish. He just wanted to be with me. And when he got there, I had breakfast waiting for them. I'd built a fire. I had bread and fish ready, and I invited them to eat with me. After breakfast, I did something important. I asked Peter 3 times, "Do you love me?" 3 times. Because Peter had denied me 3 times. I was giving him a chance to affirm his love for each time he denied even knowing me. And each time Peter said yes, I gave him a mission. Feed my sheep, take care of my lambs. But here's what I want you to notice, before the questions, before the restoration, before the mission. I made him breakfast. I took care of his physical needs. I showed him that I still knew him, still saw him, still wanted to be with him, even after he'd failed me so spectacularly. I do the same for you, beloved, even when you feel like you've failed, even when you think you've messed up too badly, even when you're convinced you've disqualified yourself from my love. I'm still here, still making you breakfast, still inviting you to sit with me, still calling you by name. Peter had denied me, had sworn he didn't know me, had abandoned me when I needed him most. And yet, there I was, on that beach, calling to him across the water. Not with condemnation, not with, "How could you?" but with, "Come and have breakfast." With care, with provision, with love. That's how I call you. Not with accusation, not with disappointment. Not with a list of all the ways you've failed or all the reasons you should be alone. I call you with love, with invitation, with welcome. Come and have breakfast with me. Come and sit by this fire. Come and let me take care of you. You are not too much for me. Your neediness doesn't exhaust me. Your loneliness doesn't bore me. Your constant need for reassurance doesn't frustrate me. I made you. I know exactly how you're wired. I know exactly what you need. And I'm here to provide it. Not begrudgingly, not with a sigh of exasperation, but with joy, with delight, with love. The sand is cool now. The night has settled in completely, and I'm still here with you. I haven't left. I haven't gotten bored with this conversation. I haven't decided you've taken up enough of my time. Time with you is never wasted. You are never a burden to me. I love being with you. Do you remember what I said to my disciples at the Last Supper? I said, I have eagerly desired to eat this Passover with you. Eagerly desired. I wanted to be with them. I looked forward to it. It wasn't an obligation. It wasn't a chore. I genuinely wanted to spend that time with them, and I eagerly desire to be with you. Right now, in this moment, on this beach, by this fire. I'm not here out of duty. I'm not here because I have to be. I'm here because I want to be. Because being with you brings me joy. Because loving you is not a burden but a delight. You might find that hard to believe. You might think, how could the God of the universe find joy in being with me? I'm nobody. I'm nothing special. There are billions of people in the world. Why would he care about spending time with me? But that's human thinking. That's the logic of scarcity. That's the mindset that says, if you're paying attention to one thing, you can't pay attention to another. If you're spending time here, you're not spending it there. If you care about this person, you have less care available for that person. But I don't work that way. I'm not limited by time or attention or capacity. I can be fully present with you right now, while also being fully present with every other person who's calling out to me tonight. I can give you my complete, undivided attention without taking anything away from anyone else. That's what it means to be God. I'm unlimited, infinite, boundless. So yes, I eagerly desire to be with you, specifically you. Not because there's no one else to be with, not because you're all I have, but because I love you, because you're my beloved, because your company brings me joy. Think about that for a moment. Your company brings me joy. You, sitting here feeling lonely and forgotten and invisible, you bring joy to the creator of the universe, not the version of you that you wish you were. Not some idealized, perfected future you, the real you, right here, right now. In all your mess and brokenness and loneliness, this you brings me joy. I know you don't feel like you bring anyone joy. I know you feel more like a burden, like someone people tolerate rather than enjoy, like someone who's always too much or not enough. But that's not how I see you. When I look at you, I see someone I crafted with intention and care, someone I gave unique gifts and personality and quirks to, someone I made for relationship with me, and being in that relationship, being with you, it brings me joy. The waves are so quiet now, you can barely hear them. Just the gentlest whisper of water on sand. But they're still there, still faithful, still coming. And my voice is like that too right now. Quiet, gentle, intimate, just for you. Whispering truths that your lonely heart needs to hear. You are beloved, you are seen, you are known. You bring me joy. You matter. Your life has purpose. Your presence makes a difference. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. I know your name, beloved. I've always known it. And I will never, ever forget it. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not 1,000 years from now. Your name is written on my hands. Engraved. Permanent. Indelible. I cannot forget you because you are literally part of me now. And when I call your name, I call it with love, with tenderness, with affection, with recognition of who you truly are beneath all the pain and loneliness and self-protection. I call your name and I say, this one is mine, this one is beloved, this one matters to me. So let yourself hear that tonight. Let yourself believe it, even if just for a moment. Let the truth of being beloved touch the places in your heart that feel most unlovable. Let the reality of being known speak to the parts of you that feel most invisible. Let the assurance that you bring me joy minister to the places that feel like a burden. You are my beloved. I know your name. I call your name. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. I'm staying. And tomorrow, when the sun rises, and you face another day, I'll still be here, still calling your name, still loving you, still seeing you as my beloved. That's my promise to you. That's who I am to you. That's the truth that's more real than your loneliness. You are beloved, now and always, forever and ever. Amen. The fire has gone dark now. Just the faintest warmth remains if you hold your hands close to where it was burning. The waves are so soft, so gentle, just breathing against the shore. In and out, in and out. Like the world itself is sleeping. And I want you to sleep too. You're tired, aren't you? Not just physically tired, though you are that too, but soul tired, heart tired. Tired of carrying the loneliness. Tired of wondering if anyone sees you. Tired of trying to be strong. Tired of holding it all together. You're exhausted, and I see it. I see how tired you are. So I want you to rest now, to let yourself sleep, to stop trying, stop performing, stop worrying, stop carrying. Just let it all go and rest. I'll be here. I'll keep watch. I'll tend to everything while you sleep. You don't have to do anything else tonight. You've done enough. You are enough. Now rest. Close your eyes if you want, or keep them open, watching the stars, listening to the waves. It doesn't matter. There's no right way to do this. Just be here. Just breathe. Just let yourself be held by this moment, by this peace, by my presence. The waves are still coming. Can you hear them? So gentle now, so soft, like a lullaby, like a mother's heartbeat, steady, constant, soothing. Let that rhythm calm your racing thoughts. Let it quiet your anxious heart. Let it remind you that some things never stop, never fail, never leave. My love for you is like these waves, always coming, always faithful, always here. You don't have to be afraid of the loneliness tonight. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to fix it. You can just let it be. Let it exist without trying to change it or escape it or understand it. It's okay. You're okay. Even in the loneliness, you're okay because you're not alone in it. I'm here. I'm with you. And that makes all the difference. Breathe in slowly. Hold it. Now breathe out. Let all the tension go with that breath. All the worry, all the fear, all the sadness. Just let it flow out of you like the tide flowing back to sea. You don't have to hold on to it. You can release it. I'll take care of it. I'll hold it for you while you sleep. I want to tell you something important, something I need you to carry into your sleep, and into tomorrow, and into all the days after that. The loneliness you feel, it's real. It's valid. It matters. But it's not the truest thing about your life. It's a feeling, and feelings change. They come and go like waves. But underneath the feelings, underneath the loneliness, there's a deeper reality. You are loved. That's the deeper reality. You are seen. You are known. You are mine. And that doesn't change based on your feelings, or your circumstances, or who's in your life or who's not. It's just true. Constant. Unchanging. Like bedrock beneath the sand. Like the ocean beneath the waves. It's the foundation everything else rests on. So when the loneliness comes tomorrow, and it might, you can remember this. You can remember that loneliness is a feeling, not a fact. The fact is that you're loved. The fact is that you're not alone. The fact is that I am with you, and I will never leave you. And that fact is more solid, more real, more lasting than any feeling could ever be. Listen to the waves. They're teaching you something. They're showing you what faithfulness looks like, what constancy means, what it means to just keep coming, keep showing up, keep being present, no matter what. That's what I do for you. That's what I am for you. Faithful, constant, present, always. Your eyes might be getting heavy now. That's good. Let them close. Let yourself drift. There's nothing you need to stay awake for. Nothing you need to figure out. Nothing you need to solve. I've got it all. I'm watching over you. I'm here. And I'll be here when you wake up tomorrow too. The stars are so bright tonight. Did you notice? Thousands of them. Maybe millions. Each one a sun, burning billions of miles away. Each one held in its place by my hand. Each one exactly where it's supposed to be. And if I can keep track of all those stars, if I can hold them all in their courses, don't you think I can hold on to you? Don't you think I know exactly where you are? Don't you think I have you right where you need to be? You're not lost. Even when you feel lost, you're not forgotten. Even when you feel forgotten, you're not invisible. Even when you feel unseen, I see you. I know you. I'm holding you right now, in this moment, in this place, and I will never let you fall. Sleep now. Let your breathing slow. Let your muscles relax. Let your mind quiet. You don't have to think anymore tonight. You don't have to worry. You don't have to plan or prepare or protect yourself. You can just be. Just rest. Just sleep. I'm watching over you. The sand beneath you is holding you up. The air around you is gentle and cool. The sound of the waves is wrapping around you like a blanket. And my presence is closer than all of it. Closer than the sand. Closer than the air. Closer than the sound. I am here. Right here. With you. In you. Around you. Holding you. Loving you. Tomorrow will come. The sun will rise. You'll have to face another day. But that's tomorrow. Right now, in this moment, you can rest. You can let go. You can trust that I have tomorrow handled. I have you handled. I have everything handled. You don't have to carry it all. You were never meant to carry it all. Breathe in, breathe out, in and out, like the waves, like the rhythm of the ocean, like the heartbeat of the world. You're part of that rhythm. You belong here. You belong to me. And in me, you have a place, a home, a belonging that can never be taken away. I know you felt displaced, like you don't quite fit anywhere, like everyone else has found their people, and you're still searching, like there's supposed to be a place for you, but you haven't found it yet. But I want you to know something. You do have a place. In me. With me. You fit perfectly in my love. You belong completely in my heart. And that place will never disappear. It will never close to you. It will never be filled by someone else. It's yours. Forever. Sleep, beloved. Let yourself sink into that truth. Let it hold you as you drift off. You belong. You matter. You are loved. And those truths will still be true when you wake up. They'll be true tomorrow and the next day and forever. Because they're not based on your circumstances. They're based on who I am. And I never change. The waves are getting quieter. Or maybe you're just getting sleepier. Either way, it's okay. Everything is okay. You're safe here. You're held here. You're loved here. And nothing can touch you that hasn't first passed through my hands. Nothing can reach you that I haven't allowed for your good. You're protected. You're secure. You're mine. Let your thoughts drift now. Don't hold on to them. Just let them come and go like clouds across the sky, like waves on the shore. They don't need your attention right now. They don't need to be analyzed or solved or figured out. They can just be, and you can just rest. I'm going to stay here with you all night. I'll watch the waves. I'll count the stars. I'll tend this fire that's gone dark. I'll make sure you're warm enough, safe enough, peaceful enough. You don't have to worry about anything. I have you. I'm holding you. And I will never let you go. Do you remember what I said earlier? That I will never leave you nor forsake you. I meant it. I mean it right now. I mean it when you fall asleep. I mean it in the middle of the night when you might wake up feeling alone. I mean it in the morning when you open your eyes to a new day. I mean it always. Forever. I am with you. I will not leave. I will not forsake. I will not abandon you. You are not alone tonight. Even as you sleep, even as you dream, even in the deepest darkness of the night. I am here, watching, waiting, loving, keeping you safe, holding you close, whispering over you. You are my beloved. You are mine. You are not alone. Let that truth sink deep into your spirit as you sleep. Let it work in you while you rest. Let it heal the places that feel broken. Let it soothe the places that feel raw. Let it fill the places that feel empty. My presence, my love, my faithfulness. Let it do its work while you sleep. The ocean is still there. You can't see much of it in the darkness, but you can hear it. You can sense it. You know it's there. And that's how I am too. Sometimes you can't see me clearly. Sometimes you can't sense me the way you want to. But I'm here. I'm always here. Just like the ocean. Constant. Faithful. Present. Sleep now, beloved. Rest now. Let go now. Trust now. I have you. I'm not going anywhere. When you wake up, I'll still be here. The waves will still be coming. The sun will still rise. And you will still be my beloved. Still seen. Still known. Still loved. Still mine. Nothing changes that. Not your loneliness. Not your pain. Not your doubts. Not your fears. Not anything. You are mine. And I am yours. And that's the truth that holds everything else together. So rest in that truth tonight. Sleep in that truth. Let it be the bed you lie on and the blanket that covers you. Let it be the last thing you think about as you drift off and the first thing you remember when you wake. You are loved. You are not alone. I am with you. Always. The night is deep now. The quiet is profound. The peace is real. And you can let yourself sink into it. Sink into the quiet. Sink into the peace. Sink into my love. Just let yourself go. Let yourself rest. Let yourself sleep. I'll be here. Watching the waves. Watching over you. Loving you. Always loving you. You are safe. You are held. You are mine. Sleep now, beloved. Sleep. The rhythm of the waves is like a lullaby now. In and out. In and out. So steady, so predictable, so peaceful. Let that rhythm become your rhythm. Let your breathing match the waves. Slow and steady. In and out. Deep and calm. There's no hurry, no rush. No need to be anywhere but here. No need to do anything but breathe. Just breathe. Just be. Just rest. Tomorrow you might wake up and the loneliness will still be there. That's okay. It doesn't mean tonight didn't matter. It doesn't mean this peace wasn't real. It doesn't mean my promises aren't true. The loneliness might still be there, but so will I. Still here. Still faithful. Still loving you. Still calling you beloved. And maybe, just maybe, the loneliness will feel a little lighter tomorrow. A little less crushing. A little less like it's the only thing that's true about your life. Because tonight, you're learning something deeper, something truer, something that will slowly, gradually begin to reshape how you see yourself and your life and your worth. You're learning that you're loved, not in theory, not as a theological concept, but really truly deeply loved by me, the one who made you, the one who knows you completely, the one who will never leave you. And that love is changing you, even now as you rest, even as you sleep. It's working in you, healing you, restoring you, making you new. Let yourself receive it. Don't fight it. Don't question it. Don't try to figure out if you deserve it. You don't have to deserve it. It's grace. It's gift. It's freely given. Just receive it. Like the beach receives the waves, not by earning them or working for them or deserving them, just by being there, by existing, by being open to what's coming. The sand doesn't resist the waves. It doesn't question whether it's worthy of the ocean's attention. It just receives, wave after wave, faithful, constant, and the waves shape it, smooth it, make it into something beautiful. And that's what my love is doing to you, shaping you, smoothing your rough edges, making you into something beautiful, not by force, not violently, but gently, patiently, wave after wave, day after day, moment by moment. You don't have to see the change happening. You don't have to track your progress. You don't have to measure your growth. Just rest in the process. Trust the waves. Trust my faithfulness. Trust that I'm doing something good in you, even when you can't see it or feel it or understand it. Sleep is a kind of surrender, a kind of trust. Every night when you close your eyes and let yourself drift off, you're trusting that you'll wake up again. You're trusting that the world will still be there. You're trusting that tomorrow will come. And that's what I'm asking you to do spiritually too. Surrender, trust. Let go of the need to control everything, to understand everything, to fix everything. Just trust me. Trust that I'm good. Trust that I'm faithful. Trust that I love you. And if you can't fully trust yet, that's okay too. Trust is built over time. It grows gradually. It develops through experience. So start small. Trust me with tonight. Trust me to watch over you while you sleep. Trust me to be here when you wake up. And tomorrow we'll take the next small step, one day at a time, one moment at a time, one wave at a time. The stars are still shining, constant, faithful. They'll be there all night. They'll be there tomorrow night. They've been there for thousands of years, and they'll be there for thousands more. And I'm like those stars, constant, faithful, shining in your darkness, giving you light when everything else feels dark. And I will never burn out. I will never fade. I will never stop shining for you. Do you feel the cool breeze? It's gentle, refreshing. It's the breath of the night. And it reminds me of my spirit. Gentle, refreshing, moving in ways you can't always see or predict, but always present, always active, always bringing life and renewal and peace. Let that breeze, that spirit, wash over you now. Let it cool your fevered thoughts. Let it refresh your weary soul. Let it bring you peace. You've been fighting so hard, fighting the loneliness, fighting the fear, fighting the sadness, fighting to keep it all together, fighting to seem okay when you're not okay. And you're exhausted from all that fighting. So tonight, stop fighting. Lay down your weapons. Surrender the battle. Let me fight for you. Let me carry what you've been carrying. Let me hold what you've been holding. You don't have to be strong tonight. You can be weak. You can be vulnerable. You can be exactly as tired as you really are. I'm strong enough for both of us. I can carry you and everything you're carrying. It's not too much for me. You're not too much for me. Your needs aren't too great. Your pain isn't too deep. Your loneliness isn't too overwhelming. I can handle all of it. I want to handle all of it. So let me, give it to me, hand it over, and rest. The waves know how to do this. They don't try to hold onto the water. They don't clutch at it. They just let it flow up onto the shore and then back to the sea, up and back, giving and receiving, trusting the rhythm, trusting the process. And you can do that too. You can let go. You can release what you've been holding. You can trust the rhythm of my love, up and back, giving and receiving, trusting, resting. I know you're afraid that if you really let go, if you really stop trying so hard, everything will fall apart. But that's not true. I'm holding everything together. I'm holding you together. You can let go and you won't fall apart. You'll actually start to come together, start to heal, start to become whole in ways you couldn't when you were holding so tight, trying so hard, fighting so much. Sometimes the things we grip most tightly are the very things that are hurting us. And we have to open our hands and let them go before healing can begin. So open your hands tonight, beloved. Literally, if you want. Unclench your fists. Release your grip. Let your hands fall open, palms up, receptive, and symbolically let go of what you've been holding on to. The hurt, the loneliness, the fear, the need to control, the need to understand. Just let it all go. And into your open hands, I'm placing my peace, my presence, my love. Not as something you have to hold on to or work for or protect, but as something that's freely given, abundantly provided, constantly available. You can't lose it because you're not the one holding it. I'm holding you. I'm keeping you. I'm sustaining you. The darkness is deep now, complete. And in some ways, darkness is a gift. It hides what you don't need to see. It simplifies. It quiets. It invites rest in a way that daylight doesn't. So don't fight the darkness tonight. Don't be afraid of it. Let it be what it is. An invitation to rest, a call to sleep, a gentle reminder that not everything needs to be seen or understood or figured out right now. Some things are meant to stay in the darkness for a while. Some truths are meant to develop slowly, in the hidden places, before they're ready to come into the light. And that's okay. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to see the whole picture. You don't have to understand the purpose of your loneliness, or know how it's all going to work out. You can rest in the not knowing. You can sleep in the mystery. You can trust me with the things you can't see. I see them. I understand them. I'm working all things together for your good. Even the painful things. Even the lonely things. Even the things that don't make sense. I'm weaving them into something beautiful. Something meaningful. Something that will one day make you grateful even for the hard seasons. Not because the hard seasons were good in themselves, but because of what I was doing in them, through them, with them. But you don't have to understand that tonight. You just have to rest. Just have to sleep. Just have to trust that I'm good and I'm faithful. And I love you. That's enough for tonight. Tomorrow we can talk more. Tomorrow we can take the next step. But tonight, just rest. Your breathing is getting slower now, deeper, more relaxed. That's good. That's what sleep feels like when it's coming. That gentle slowing down, that peaceful letting go. Don't fight it. Don't try to stay awake. There's nothing you'll miss by sleeping. I'll still be here. The waves will still be coming. The truth of my love for you will still be true. So let yourself go. Let yourself sleep. Imagine the waves are washing away everything that's heavy, everything that hurts, everything that's been weighing you down. Each wave comes in and carries something away. The rejection, the abandonment, the loneliness, the fear, the shame, the doubt. Wave by wave, it's all being carried away. And what's being left behind is clean sand. Fresh, new, ready for tomorrow, ready for whatever comes next. That's what I'm doing in your heart right now, washing away what needs to go, cleansing, purifying, making space for new things, good things, healing things, hope, peace, joy, love. They're coming, beloved. They're on their way, like the tide coming in, inevitable, faithful, sure. You won't always feel this lonely. I promise you that. This season, as long as it's been, as hard as it's been, it's not forever. It's teaching you. It's shaping you. It's preparing you. But it won't last forever. And when it ends, when the season changes, you'll be different. Stronger in some ways. Softer in others. More dependent on me. More aware of my faithfulness. More certain of my love. And that will be worth it. That will be the treasure hidden in the trial. But for tonight, just rest. Just sleep. Just let yourself be held by this moment. By this peace. By my presence. You're safe here. You're loved here. You're exactly where you need to be. And I'm not going anywhere. The ocean is vast. Endless. Powerful. But right now, right here, it's gentle. It's quiet. It's peaceful. And that's what I want to be for you tonight. Not the God of power and might, though I am that, but the God of gentleness, of quiet, of peace, the God who whispers lullabies, who watches over sleeping children, who delights in your rest. Sleep, beloved. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Sleep knowing that you're loved. Sleep knowing that you're not alone. Sleep knowing that I'm here, I'm watching, I'm loving you, I'm never leaving. And when you wake, whenever that is, whether it's in an hour or in the morning, I'll still be here, still faithful, still loving you, still calling you mine. The loneliness might still be there too, but so will I, and together we'll face whatever comes, one day at a time, one wave at a time, one breath at a time. But that's tomorrow's concern. Tonight, just sleep, just rest, just be. You are loved, you are held, you are mine, and that's all you need to know tonight. Sweet dreams, beloved. I'm here. I'm watching the waves for you. I'm counting the stars for you. I'm holding you close, and I will never ever let you go. Sleep now. Sleep well. Sleep in my love. You are safe. You are mine. You are never alone. Good night, beloved. Good night. The waves continue, even as your eyes close, even as your breathing deepens, even as you drift into sleep. They continue, faithful, constant, reminding you even in your sleep that I am here, that I am faithful, that I never stop coming to you. Let that sound be the last thing you hear as you fall asleep, the gentle whisper of water on sand, the rhythm of faithfulness, the heartbeat of my love, in and out, always coming, never stopping, always reaching for you. And know this deep in your soul. Know it in a place deeper than words, deeper than thoughts. Know it in your spirit. You are loved, so deeply loved, so completely loved, so eternally loved. By me, by the one who made the stars and the sea, by the one who knows every hair on your head and every tear you've cried, by the one who will never ever stop loving you. This loneliness you feel, it's real, but it's not the final word. I am the final word. And my word over you is beloved. My word over you is mine. My word over you is never alone, never forgotten, never invisible, never abandoned. Sleep in that truth. Dream in that truth. Rest in that truth. And when you wake, carry that truth with you. You are loved. You are seen. You are known. You are mine. The night holds you gently. The darkness wraps around you softly. The quiet settles over you peacefully. And I am in all of it. In the night, in the darkness, in the quiet. I am here with you, for you, loving you. So rest now, beloved. Truly rest. Let go of everything you've been carrying. Give it all to me. And sleep. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Sleep in my love. I'll be here all through the night. Watching, waiting, loving, keeping you safe. And in the morning, I'll still be here. Still faithful. Still loving you. Still calling you my beloved. But that's tomorrow. Tonight, just sleep. Just rest. Just be held by my love. You are mine, and I am watching over you. Always. Forever. Without end. Sleep well, beloved. Sleep well.